Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people of the universe. Sorry this came out a little bit late, but welcome to another week of 301 Outlet Podcast. Today is January 29th, 2022. We're ending the month strong. Last night we just had the video gaming roundtable. Let me tell y'all, that joint was a banger. That joint was a hit, man. It was lit. We had a lot of people come. We had like what 12, 13 people in the room. Yeah, it was popping up in here, man. It was a great conversation. Some funny moments, some crazy moments. It
Drop
was
some knowledge too.
Got some definitely some gems too. Like definitely listen to it. Like I said, I'm probably gonna upload both of these episodes at the same time, like a crazy person. But it's just a smart way to do it. And before we get started in today, just dropping a new announcement PSA. So now it's the end of January. We got a couple more days left. We're entering February. From February on, the upload schedule episode thing will be different from then down point. We're gonna be dropping 2 episodes a week, y'all, because we noticed that we have a lot of people that listen to it and they're interested in both our sports and both our freestyle takes, where we're just talk about current events of what's happening in the world. And some people are kind of more tailored to one or the other. So what's gonna happen is we're splitting the two. There'll be one day we record for the sports, one day we record for the freestyle, whatever current events is going on, and it'll be like 2 parts of the same episode. So you be on the lookout Wednesdays and Fridays. That's gonna be popping out content, and we're gonna keep this thing going. First, and before we go in, how y'all doing today, man? It's a cold Saturday. We just got some snow. It's messy out there, but how y'all doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Can't complain.
I'm doing pretty good.
Russell Westbrook
I mean,
put a
I'm chilling.
smile on my face last night. That's all I got
We're
to
gonna
say.
talk about them. We're gonna talk about them when we get to the Lakers fight for sure. For sure. That game was something else. That was a very interesting game last night. I was kind of half watching and half on the roundtable yesterday. So yeah,
I didn't watch it till like the last 2-3 minutes when I saw that we actually had a chance to win.
I
I
mean,
gotta
hey,
say, Charlotte was going off that game. That's all I gotta say. But it turned out to be a good game because Westbrook, I think he heard all the trolls and just like went off and got pissed because Westbrook went in like just for assassin mode.
hey, man, like I said, we're gonna break that down when we get into that. But that's good. It's good to hear that everybody's doing good. My boy Evan, man, how you doing, man?
I mean, it's whatever at this point, man.
Yeah, I see the name. I don't know. I understand the vibes,
I
bro.
don't
It's
even
been rough.
blame it.
I
Dang,
Listen,
understand
big,
listen,
that.
big
listen,
coming up on Tuesday.
listen. We're gonna talk about that when we get to that. But that will be discussed because that was an atrocity. Okay,
No
but
Clipper pick for you.
uh, but yeah, no bullshit. But let's dive into the football, man. Conference championships is literally tomorrow. Super Bowl is popping up very soon. What's the predictions? What's the takes? I'm here for it.
Well, first things first, last weekend had to be
Oh yeah.
the greatest weekend of football I had ever watched in my life.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes.
I felt like
I
a kid again,
feel
bro.
extremely sorry for Bills fans because they do not deserve this. However, you
Bullshit
have to
overtime rules.
no,
Hey,
they're
hey,
not.
hey, man,
They're
hey, man,
not. They're not bullshit. Play defense. Win
I
the.
understand though, but at the same time, they did have 13 seconds at the same time though. I understand that. They did have 13 seconds and they let them come back within 13 seconds. So that is on the Bills defense. You're right.
Ain't nothing wrong with them overtime rules. Rams Bucks was everything we thought it would be in the last 5 minutes because the other like 45 minutes of that game was complete trash. Joe Burrow, I would call him Joe. Well, I'll call him Joe Burr. He was the GOAT. He looked like the GOAT. Go Tigers, LSU Tiger, and he is Cincinnati Bengal.
Not a bang.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I just want to give a good shout out to the Bengals because the Bengals really like exceeded a lot of expectations, bro. Burrow,
Oh
he's
yeah, they
doing a
did,
damn
man.
thing this year, and
Hey,
that's a fun ass team to watch, bro. So I just want
I
to like
also
actually, congratulate to the Bengals for so far what they've done this season. Even if they don't win tomorrow, man, I just want to congratulate them on the season because Joe Burrow. Right now, he's the future Jamar Chase as a dog. Joe Mixon is finally in his bag after had a slow start to his career. But look, seeing Joe Mixon in his bag, hey, it's fun. Up seeing the
Hey,
LSU Tigers in the NFL now, bro.
hey, I gotta say this though. Me and Mark called it. We said y'all better watch when the season started. We said you better watch out for the Bengals.
We
Now,
Y'all
sure
did?
did.
now we
Y'all
didn't.
said,
Now we
y'all
didn't.
said.
Now we didn't think they would go all the way to the AFC Championship game. However, we did say they're a dangerous team and you need to look out for them.
I
However,
love the underdogs, man.
Joe Burrow just tore his ACL last year. Me and Evan also sat here and said they should have drafted Penei Sewell. The Bengals decided that they wanted to go against that and get his boy Jamar Chase. Cool. However, you guys obviously want Joe Burrow to die. He got sacked nine times, yet they still won because Evan McPherson is a white god. That's what
Everybody named Evan the GOAT.
Robot leg.
But like my first hot take for this episode is gonna be basically the Chiefs Bengals game going down to the wire. Because when you talk about the Bengals, this is a team, and I said this on the bonus episode, and they're kind of like the 2018 Caps in the sense that there was this obvious monkey that they had on their back. I mean, for the Bengals, for the Caps, it was you can't get past the second round. For the Bengals, it was you can't win a playoff game. But now Cincinnati's won that playoff game, and the next week it's but you can't win on the road. Now they go on the road to the number one seed, and they beat Tennessee. So this is a Bengals team this weekend that hears everybody talking. They hear people saying, "Oh, you can't win this game. It's Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are going to win this. Like, you have no chance." They hear you saying all this, but they don't care about none of that. And that's what makes them dangerous.
Already beat them once this year. The Bengals did, I believe. Yeah.
They
And
don't
honestly,
care about
and plus Kansas City, they've been looking suspect all year. I'm really shocked they even got to this point, to the championship. But Pat Mahomes, he does his magic. But can his last up to like an actual full championship, run the championship team? I don't know, because the Bengals, they know how to capitalize on those mistakes. They really do. And the Chiefs, they've been looking very suspect all year.
I look at the Bengals now, and I look at how we was looking at the Cowboys in like the first, half of the season, where it's like the Bengals can play with you however which way you want. If you want to slow it down and get defensive and run the ball, they can get down, get defensive and run, and run the ball, even with that bad offensive line. If you want to sit here, go balls to the wall and let that thing fly, Joe Burrow has no issue in doing that. So it's just like pick your poison with the Bengals. And like Mark just said, not even probably as much as a month ago, the Bengals went toe-to-toe with Kansas City, went play for play and beat them. Mind you, it was in Cincinnati. People keep saying it was in Arrowhead. It was in Cincinnati. So we'll put that there. But the Bengals can hang with anybody. And the thing with Kansas City is my biggest fear for them is I don't want Pat Mahomes to get too cute and think he can kind of fuck around a little bit. And next thing he knows, the Bengals are up by 10. And you really don't want that.
Oh yeah, the Bengals are not a team to play around with. Honestly, Cincinnati, they're done with all the slander they had for the past 2 decades. Honestly, Cincinnati, they're finally having success in this franchise because we've been calling the Bengals kind of like cursed, for a minute now. But look, they finally, literally, they were just like really a QB, I say, away, really, like from being that great team. But unfortunately, the playoffs happened or whatever, and Vontaze Burfict and stuff that one particular year. But I don't know. We're finally seeing Cincinnati, they got new head coaches, like new management, and look at them now. They're a serious elite team. And I think the Bengals fans, they deserve it, Cincinnati fans, because they had a rough past 2 decades overall. And now they're finally seeing some light with Joe Burrow. Like if he stays healthy, that's your franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. And it's really impressive how fast he came back from that ACL tear, honestly, because usually that keeps players out for longer. But he bounced back fast. Like, he's pretty tough. Joe Burrow, he could take some hits now. I hope Cincinnati actually drafts an offensive lineman this year in the draft, though, like a good offensive lineman, like for a top, like whoever the top pick they had. They need to protect Joe Burrow because he can't be getting like taking like 3.5+ sacks a game. That's like ridiculous. He's gonna get him like really injured again, and that's how quarterbacks don't last. So protect your boy, man. Protect your boy.
So who do we have winning the Chiefs Bengals game tomorrow?
Hey, you know what? That's a tough one, bro, because the Bengals, they are in Arrowhead. I'm still giving a slight edge to the Chiefs by one, but I said you said it's gonna come to the wire. I have like the Chiefs winning and like Pat Mahomes winning on the last drive, like coming down to the final possession, scoring and probably the Chiefs stopping them defensively, but that's what I have it as. Chiefs winning by like one possession.
I got Chiefs by 3. And by which I mean it's going to be a game where Cincinnati actually has the lead for a good bit of the second quarter, for the second half. And then Kansas City just goes on a run at the end to win it.
Yeah, I think I'm a ride with Charles. It's gonna come down to the final. It's gonna come down to the final possession. I think
it's gonna be a good game.
I think the Chiefs squeak. Away.
Yeah, we got the Chiefs. Yeah. What about the Rams and Niners? Because it seems like the Rams like the what's it called? The Niners or the Rams kryptonite. The Rams did not figure it out, man.
Oh, hold on,
classic rivalry, man.
Hold on a minute. So before I talk about that game, let me just say something real quick.
My uncle a big Niners fan, by the way.
on Twitter, specifically the Washington football fans, we need to stop talking about the damn 2013 coaching staff. You know why?
Oh,
because
Shanahan. What about them?
What was Washington's record that year? 3-13. And it goes even further than that. You could argue that objectively, of all the bad, horrible seasons that we've had in the 21st century, objectively, 2013 was the worst one because 2013 was right on the heels of that 10-win season in 2012. So that year in 2013, there were actual expectations only for Washington to devolve back into Washington. And it was even before the RG3 injury too. It was before the RG3 injury because the only team we could beat that year was, who did we beat? The Bears.
Oh, I remember that season.
We beat that year were the Bears, were the Bears who were absolute garbage, the Raiders who were absolute garbage, and we fluked a win against the Chargers who were actually decent. So yeah, we need to stop bringing up the 2013 coaching staff like that wasn't one of the most ain't shit seasons in Washington football history.
Because that was 9 seasons ago. Coaches get better over years. That's like 10 years ago.
I know we like to talk about the X's, and we really need to stop doing that too. But bro, that coaching staff wasn't winning that year. Stop it. Go to.
Yeah, he had to get that. I understand. But yeah, man. But the Niners and the Rams, though, I got the Rams winning. I think this Rams team is actually complete. We're seeing like Matthew Stafford in his bag. Matthew Stafford with even more weapons. Like we seen Matthew Stafford go off before, and now we're seeing him actually go play in playoff football. He has Odell Beckham. He has Cooper Kupp, who's a dog. The run game is pretty good. So I think they can finally figure out this Niners team. But I had the Rams. I think that's going to come down to like a really close game too. I had the Rams winning by maybe by a touchdown by like 7 points. I got them going to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be ironic seeing them playing in their own home field too. That's crazy. People going to say, "Oh, the NFL set it up like that," but hey, it's just like a perfect way for them to kick off to a good start. And what a better way to have it in their own home field at SoFi. I got Rams winning tomorrow.
Yeah, I listened to Fiji Islander earlier, and I'm gonna ride with my boy Chris and say the Niners string of luck ends tomorrow.
Did it happen getting lucky?
And because they Dallas don't know how to manage the damn clock, and the Cooper Kupp is just I don't know how you don't cover Cooper Kupp. But anyways, Yeah, I got the Rams winning. It seems like they're clicking at the right time. But the thing is, the Niners are so good at playing spoiler, and all they've been doing, in these two playoff games that they've had, is they've basically like knocked off, like they're playing ugly football. They're playing
Definitely haven't
real,
been rather than gritty wins. A lot of gritty wins. Yeah, for sure.
they're playing real ugly football.
And honestly, Kyle
And
Shanahan, yeah, he's like finding way. Like I don't know. It's like it's they've really been calling it close because really, honestly, that Dallas game, they really could have lost that game for real. They really could have, bro. They really got lucky as hell.
they should have lost. I'm not talking about the Cowboys, but the because it's just like they run the ball. You got like, and they can run with anybody. Like
Yeah, they have multiple running
they
weapons.
they
That's
got
what's real
they got
dangerous.
Elijah Mitchell, and they can even put Debo,
Debo,
and you got George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk. You got big old Trent Williams in there, best left tackle in the league. As long as Jimmy G does not play like Ryan Tannehill, he's good. As long as we get, Jimmy G that'll make a cut, like all Jimmy G has to do is make a couple good throws. That's
yeah, that's the
all.
thing.
That's
Jimmy G
that.
doesn't even have to take that many like throws. That's the thing about Jimmy G. He gets lucky. People think he gets lucky because the run game is so good, and it's just like he has so many weapons around him. He barely has to make that many pass attempts. So
But what the
he doesn't really
Niners,
take the risk. Didn't like hurt. That's
what
the
the
thing. It's
Niners are
like
doing with Jimmy G is what the Colts were doing with Carson Wentz. Although Carson Wentz is much better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
agree. I
The
agree.
running the running game saved is saving Jimmy from himself.
For real, honestly. And now
Because
he's going to be a free agent, I believe. After this season. Shoot, he
yeah,
could be out of San Francisco. So
true.
I'm wondering who's going to pick him up, but I want to see him outside of Kyle Shanahan's system because I feel as though
There's
Jimmy G, he's in a perfect situation for his playing style. Honestly, he really is.
there's like five, 6 teams, maybe more than that, that's going to be looking for a quarterback. Because Russell Wilson's going to be, is going to be leaving. Well, he's going to be testing free agency.
Yeah,
We don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. You still got Deshaun
unpredictable.
Watson. Um,
That's not very unpredictable.
Washington needs a quarterback. Pittsburgh, Miami's probably in the
In the hunt, they need to be in the hunt.
in the quarterback market. Who else? Houston has their guy. They better not get away from Davis Mills. Like I said, if they get rid of Russell Wilson, then Seattle, New Orleans. A lot of there's a lot of teams that's probably going to make changes at QB.
Exactly. Denver, of course, Aaron Rodgers, if he goes in Denver. If not, Jimmy G, he could probably be in Denver. You never
Yeah,
know. Like, shoot, it's like a lot of big. It's not a big. Really, this is the big year of quarterbacks this year. NFL offseason. It's going to be a real late NFL offseason if you think about it, because there's a lot of QBs. Like you're saying, the free agency and other free agents too, but quarterbacks mainly.
I mean, the thing is, it's a lot of teams that need a quarterback, but it ain't too many quarterbacks on the market. So somebody gonna be stuck with an in-house name, man. So it's about to get real rough for somebody.
And I don't know how this
yeah,
QB draft
and
class is looking either. Like I don't even
well,
know anything too much about this QB draft class except for a
They
Pickett out of
not good.
Ole Miss. But
well,
it's
it's not.
and that's, I don't know if that's even saying much with
It's
Pickett.
not.
I mean,
It's not that the QB class is not good. It's just there's no one that there's no Trevor Lawrences and Zach Wilsons and Lamar Jacksons and Justin Herberts coming out this year. There's no one that'll sit here and you'll sit there and be where you'll say, oh, this player is generational. This guy will turn over a friend, you know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yup.
There like it's a lot of these wait and see guys, which isn't necessarily bad. Like I think, you know, because Tom Brady was drafted in the 7th round for Christ's sakes. Dak Prescott was
And
a
the rest
fourth
whole
round.
history.
Dak Prescott was a 4th round draft pick. Russell Wilson was a 4th, 5th round draft pick. So you like, granted, the QBs that are playing tomorrow were all, you know, are all 1st, 2nd round picks.
Pat Mahomes is a low draft pick kind of too. He was kind of slept on in the draft for real. That's crazy.
He was picked like number 10. He was picked somewhere in the middle of the 1st round, like 10.
Yeah, not a high. He wasn't. Yeah, but still, it's like teams. I bet teams regret sleeping on him because woo.
And I think Josh Allen was in that same draft.
Yep.
But even when Josh Allen came out, like we all knew he had, like everyone knew that he had a big arm. It was just if he could get accurate and if he could make certain throws and not get too ahead of himself. But so we made our predictions. So we're all basically saying Chiefs Rams.
Yeah, I got Chiefs Rams Super Bowl. I feel as that would be a good Super Bowl.
Who wins the Super Bowl?
Chiefs Rams. The Super Bowl, I really feel like it's gonna be the Rams. I feel like it's gonna be the Rams because LA's got a good all-around team. They've got a decent quarterback, Matthew Stafford, who won't really lose you too many games. They got a solid defense. They got arguably the best wide receiver in the game in Cooper Kupp. So it's like it's hard to game plan for all of that.
So it really is.
I got
the Bucs weren't prepared for that either. So.
Yeah. So all right. So moving on.
I got the Rams.
So moving on. So we talked a little bit about the ending of the Bills-Chiefs game. Do you think that the overtime rules need to be changed?
I'm gonna put it like this. I like the NCAA. I think the NFL should go kind of like the NCAA rules. I like that format better, where each team, since like each team earned their chance to get like tied up the game, per game, and where it's not decided by like a coin flip who gets the ball first. Each team gets a chance on offense. Scores a touchdown, and then the other team has to like you said, step up, just play defense. It's all about who scores last and what defense can hold off the offense. Simple as that. The NCAA, I think the NFL should go the NCAA route. That's me. I think it just makes it's more simple. It's much more simplified. You don't have to do this heads tails crap. I like each team earned earn the way to get another chance, tied up the game at the end of regulation. So give like the offenses and defense a chance, like win the game, like the sport is. Offense wins the game, defense steps up, so in the game. Simple as that. That's my take.
Personally, I say F the NCAA rules, man. My proposed rule change is really closer to what they have now. But the biggest change is both teams have a possession. So that means if somebody wins the coin toss, goes down and scores a touchdown. No. There is still a coin toss. So my point, like my projection is, my proposal is like this way. In my proposal, if a team wins the coin toss, goes down the field and scores, now the other team has one drive to go down and score a touchdown.
I see what you're saying. It's like no one touchdown wins the game. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, it's like one touchdown. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because that's
like,
dumb.
So now
touchdown wins the game. Like, bro, other team don't have
so now it goes from. Now it goes from touchdown wins the game to a touchdown and a stop wins the game.
That makes sense. Yeah. So that makes sense. That's dumb though. It's like one rule. It's like, bro, really? It's like you just stepped the other team over by a coin toss. Like
or though, if the team that wins the coin toss only gets a field goal, they can still win the game with a stop. Like that part stays the same.
Oh yeah, so like the other team, first team that wins the coin toss gets a field goal, yeah, and then their defense steps up. Yeah, simple as that. Yeah, that can end the game. Yeah, like instead of like making it, and then that makes no sense. The other team gets a field goal, they win the coin toss, then the other team can come back and score a touchdown and win the game. That's dumb as shit, honestly, to me. Come to think of it,
and it's
really is. Yeah, the NFL should really step in and like rethink that. So I know in the front office are probably thinking about it too, but Goodell, he has to say so. But yeah, bro, I agree.
To go further, man, it really don't make too much sense to go to NCAA rules because that would create a system where it's like 3-4 overtimes, and I don't think the league would want to do that.
We have seen that. Yeah, we have seen that.
I don't think the league would want to do that.
Seen that. Yeah, I didn't factor that. Yeah,
especially since starting at the 25-yard line makes it really hard to not score. Especially if we're talking about
and if NFL, push it back to like maybe 40, like maybe 40-yard line,
really
like
hard, it would be really hard to not score. And then for college, and then if we go to the NCAA rule, then that would create a system where inevitably a game ends in the 5th overtime because one team couldn't score on the 2-point conversion, and now we're having this same debate all over again.
Yeah, I see what you said. Yeah. In controversy. Yeah, but your rule, honestly, your take, actually makes sense though. Like do the coin toss, but give another team, each team a chance instead of having one team, one touchdown wins the game. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So I like Evan's proposal. I absolutely hate college overtime. I think it's the stupidest thing.
It's fun, bro. Hey, it's fun.
It is not fun. It is not fun. It's like because
we've seen good college teams, some of the great games like that.
Like Evan said, it makes it to where it's like it's hard to not score. There's nothing wrong with the overtime rules now. The only reason why it got people mad is because everybody wanted to see Josh Allen in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, basically.
That's really what it is. If it was the other way around and the Bills won that coin toss and they rolled down the field and they scored a touchdown and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, we're not having this conversation because everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, the Chiefs lost fair and square. If you don't want to lose on a touchdown in overtime, play good coverage, play good defense.
Gotta stop Mahomes
and win. Not to mention, in regulation, you had 13 seconds to stop them from getting into field goal range.
And Tyreek Hill was just that fast. Tyreek Hill was way faster than 13 seconds.
And you blew it. So don't complain. It's like how, and of course I'm going back to the Cowboys because, bias, but it's just like how in most of Dallas's losses this year, instead of blaming it on the play calling or the clock management or something that Dak Prescott didn't do or something that he did or whatever, the execution, we're blaming the referees for throwing too many flags at us, where we are the ones that are fucking up. The Bills fans and NFL fans that are against this overtime rule, they're not looking at the fact that, and even Chargers fans that got mad at Brandon Staley for calling the timeout. They play defense, stop them, and we won't be in this situation. But you didn't do that. And now look where you are. So that's the Bills' fault. The Bills' defense lost them that game. Now, we all knew. I think it was just like no one really had to say anything. I think everybody kind of just had that human telepathy where it was just like, we know whoever wins the coin toss is going to win this game. That's just what it is. And I don't think the overtime rules should be changed. They should not. Although I do like what Evan said. If they do
maybe improvise, maybe improv a little bit. How about
if they do score a touchdown? Okay, cool. You can give them another possession, whatever. To be honest, they just changed the overtime rule like 3 years ago. They're not doing it again. I
forgot about that. I forgot they sure enough did though.
It's kind of just like
Roger Goodell's tired, bro.
It's not even that Roger Goodell is tired.
It's like play football.
It's just that y'all just gonna have to deal with the fact that your boys lost. and that you're going to have to see Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship yet again.
Fourth straight time. Just that good, man.
For the fourth straight time. So,
and I know Bills fans are seething right now, but hey, we just call it like it is, man. Look, we all been dealt with heartbreak this year, bro.
Oh,
We
and
understand. We're in y'all corner, Bills fans. Bills Mafia, we're in y'all corner.
You know what really makes it worse for Bills fans? Now they're stuck watching the Sabres. Like, bro, nobody.
Oh, yeah,
I think your mic is cutting off. I think your mic, his mic's been doing that all
deserves
episode.
that.
Yeah, we don't.
I said it's even worse for Bills fans. I said it's even worse for Bills fans now because now they got to watch the Sabres.
Yeah. But getting away from the NFL, because ain't really much to talk about right now. Right now, there's not much to talk about. Holding our tongues today. Let's go to the NBA. A couple days ago, the NBA All-Star starters were announced, and they go as followed. For the Eastern Conference, the captain and leading vote getter for the Eastern Conference is Kevin Durant. Then you have Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Trae Young, and DeMar DeRozan. How do y'all feel about that?
DeMar DeRozan, that could have been debatable, but he's been having a good season. But it sounds about right. Trae Young, he's been playing good. Embiid, KD, he's hurt though. I don't know who will step up in his plays, but
someone's probably gonna fill in for him. I think if anyone's gonna fill in, probably Jimmy
Butler, yeah. The East starters sound about right.
It's either gonna be Jimmy Butler, Zach LaVine, maybe Jason Tatum.
Zach LaVine, he would be fun seeing him as a starter. Honestly, that would be fun seeing Zach LaVine start.
I feel like
he's been like balling out too. Yeah, LaVine, man, he finally has a chance. He's finally proving his mark in the NBA, and just staying consistent too, playing winning basketball. He's in a good playing situation. I'm happy for him, honestly. I would like to see LaVine as an East starter.
Yeah, I could have, I would have. Not saying I would put Melo in there, but I could see LaMelo, being a starter. But Trae Young has been balling, although Atlanta has been underachieving all year. So
yeah, Trae Young's just been a one-man team for
real. Truth be told, I feel like Trae Young got in as kind of a side effect of Bradley Beal getting in last year, because that's Bradley Beal being the leading vote getter, being unanimous last year, because that sent the message to fans and media like, hey, even if the team isn't really winning, that doesn't mean that players who are on these losing teams and balling out can't make it to the All-Star game.
Yep. Agreed. And moving on to the Western Conference, leading vote getter and captain, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Andrew Wiggins, Stephen Curry, and Ja Morant.
Andrew Wiggins, he deserves it. He deserves that spot.
All I'm gonna say about Wiggins is everybody who says he shouldn't be in the All-Star game, they don't watch ball. All they do is go on Basketball Reference. They look at his stat line and say, oh, he doesn't even average 20 points a game, and just leave it at that. And he's
been good at all the Warriors. I mean, Warriors games get a lot of national TV, so clearly you must need some new eyeglasses or something if you don't have 20/20 vision.
And it's like
Wiggins been doing pretty good in Golden State.
Andrew
Wiggins, fun to watch.
Andrew Wiggins is proof that there's more to offense than just dribble up the court and shoot. That's really what these people think.
He can spread the floor too. People gotta realize that he can facilitate. He's actually been doing all around game. He's been doing it. Yup.
And it's like, bro, Andrew Wiggins is good off ball. He's good off ball, and that's what you got to be successful in the NBA. Everybody can see you dribble, everybody can see you shoot if you're a guard, but what do you do off ball?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like the NBA trolls don't realize that.
And this reminds me of something, because I listened to JJ Redick's podcast a couple of days ago, and he had Draymond Green, and Draymond Green was talking about how people don't really see how he impacts the Golden State Warriors offensively and defensively. You don't really you can't really see how a player like Draymond affects that team, because Draymond's not scoring 30 points a game. He's not getting 15 assists a game. He's not getting 20 rebounds a game. And then on the defensive side, because he was a front runner before he got hurt for defensive player of the year, he's not getting like 8 steals a game and 6 blocks or anything like that. So, like what you said, Evan, about Andrew Wiggins, he does some of the stuff that you just don't see on the box score.
Yeah, fundamentals, man.
So that's something that needs to be thought about. So with us sticking with the All-Star theme right now, I think we kind of talked about who was going to fill in for Kevin Durant because he's not playing. Who do you see being the reserves?
For the East, Sabonis definitely should be in a reserve. Sabonis, like, for sure. I'm tired of the disrespect he gets. I don't think he gets like enough credit. Sabonis.
Yeah, that's just because he plays in Indiana. That's literally.
Yep.
Of course. All right, so for the East, I'm going like Mark said, Sabonis,
LaMelo too.
LaMelo Ball / Jason Tatum, whichever one is not elected to fill Kevin Durant's spot.
Basically, yeah.
And then from the East, Zach LaVine. Again, if he's not elected to fill KD's spot. Yeah, so 3 of those are conditional. Another one, you got to put Evan Mobley in there. Evan Mobley, or Darius Garland, either one. And then I go ahead and put Kyle Kuzma in there too.
All right, that's a little Wizards bias there. Although he should.
Yeah, but it's debatable.
Kyle Kuzma, the only one on
the
team
that
I'll argue should be in the All-Star game.
I'm actually with you. I do think he should be an All-Star because he's been balling out. Go ahead, Mark. I'll go after you.
So I have Sabonis. I have LaMelo Ball. I have Zach LaVine. And also honestly, for a reserve, I would say even Miles Bridges because he's been actually having a good season. I wouldn't mind seeing Miles Bridges coming off like a bench, and he's been pretty explosive too. Like seeing him in the All-Star game would be fun. So I have him as a reserve. I would like to see him as a reserve for the East, and even you can look at his stat line; it's been showing too. So I wouldn't mind seeing him as a reserve for the East. Of course, you have Evan Mobley. The rookie, like he's been balling out, but to see to add somebody like you said more like other players like. Some players that we don't talk about enough. Miles Bridges, he could be another one too, just based off this season. But those are mainly my reserves, basically similar to Evans, but plus Miles Bridges though. That's if he gets in.
All right, so my reserves, I got Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum. One of those two is going to fill in for KD. Zach LaVine, LaMelo Ball. His name left me. Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, and I'm gonna go off on a limb. One of these 2 players, Kyle Kuzma or Tyler Hero.
You know what I forgot? What about Bam Adebayo? Y'all don't have him. Y'all choose.
Bam's been hurt. That is the only thing.
So,
Bam's been hurt.
You're right. It's right. Don't want to be fair. You're right. But
Bam
Bam, he still deserves it. I mean, but yeah, I want to find seeing him, man. Yeah, because out of Bam Adebayo, he definitely is one of the top centers in the East. For sure. Yeah, I almost forgot about him.
But Tyler Hero's been balling. I do have to put that out there. I would be doing my Fiji boys no justice without.
It's gonna be happening seeing this with these Heat takes right now.
Not doing that. So let's go into the Western Conference. Your reserves for the Western Conference, which I think those are going to be announced. I want to say if it's not Tuesday, it's going to be Thursday. I think all the reserves are going to be announced Tuesday or Thursday. One of those two. But who are y'all's Western Conference reserves?
Hold on, give me one sec. Give me one. I don't know where Evan is at. For the West, I'm gonna just go. For one of the reserves, I have I say put Anthony Edwards in there for one of the reserves. Also for the West, Donovan Mitchell, of course. Donovan D. Mitch, you had to put him in there for a reserve. Who else? For the West, because the West is just so deep with talent. I'm kind of like trying to like just get my like just think about who's really been balling out this season in the West. Let's see.
You just want me to go while you think about it?
Yeah, you can go. Yep.
All right.
Real quick.
So for the West, I'm gonna go with Devin Booker.
Oh yeah.
Chris Paul, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert.
Oh Lord.
I say that with emphasis. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Luka.
Yeah, Luka. Yeah, Luka for sure.
Luka.
Luka. He deserves. Honestly, I'll pick. Yeah, Luka. Yeah, he definitely should be a top reserve for sure. Devin
And,
Booker.
And bear with me. Okay. Just bear with me. Anthony Davis.
80. Well, yeah, he's good, but
And
if he can stay healthy.
And if not AD, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Now that's that's a
My
good
boy,
one. That's a good
Student
pick.
Government Association.
Evan, who you got for the West Reserves?
All right. I'm a second Darian's point. Student Government Association. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And then I'm going Devin Booker. I'm going DeAndre Ayton, actually. DeAndre Ayton. Karl Anthony Towns. I'm with Darien on that one. And then I'm going Desmond Bain.
You know what? I was
Bain
thinking Des Bain. I was thinking about him. He should at least be considered for it.
And then,
also I'm considering for the West. My bad to cut you off. I'm considering Jaren Jackson in Memphis. I think he deserves a spot. He's good. Jaren Jackson.
Got y'all thinking about the Grizzlies.
Yup.
Got y'all thinking
Jaren
about
Jackson.
them Grizzlies.
I think he should be a reserve. I would love to see him as a reserve for the West. Yup. Him and John Moran, they deserve it because the Grizzlies, hey, they've been like, I feel like the Grizzlies kind of remind us of like the Bucks before they got to before they finally won the ring. That's what this current Grizzlies team reminds me of right now with their with John Moran playing good and the other young players playing pretty good. They remind me of like the Bucks. Honestly, if like
they
before,
don't really play like the pre-championship Bucks though. Because Milwaukee pre-championship was that team that kind of lived and died by the three. Memphis is the type.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like they'll kind of like go.
I mean,
inside,
like based off of more like a small market. Yeah. Yeah, just like one of them teams in a small market where it's like, yeah, they're finally like, exceeding, like actually dominating like in their, in the conference. Like it's a team where, yeah, this team in this market is like actually playing good, watch out for them. Like don't sleep because the Grizzlies, honestly, in the West, they can see them knocking off like almost any team in the West, really. I really can. That's just me. I can really see them knocking off any team in the West.
Then my last one for the West will be Aaron Gordon.
Really?
Interesting.
Really? Wow. That's actually kind of a shocker. I didn't expect that.
I was gonna go Goat Bear, but I feel like he got posterized one too many times. Like the Russell Westbrook poster hurt his chances.
I mean, he might end up getting in there though.
Rudy Bear is going to be an all-star. Book it.
I mean, he deserves it though. I mean, he's just like the fact that he doesn't play stretch the ball. He still plays, he's just that good as a center. He's like true to this position. That's why he gets the hate.
Here's my thing about Rudy Gobert, and I was listening to I want to say it was some on ESPN. Or it was some basketball podcast. Can't remember. But Rudy Gobert kind of reminds me of, or at least the hate that he gets reminds me of Trayvon Diggs, where you really know not to really pick on him, but the times where people do it and get away with it, everyone sees it. So you just think he has a bunch of lowlights, where Trevon Diggs had 11 picks and Rudy Gobert is one of the premier shot blockers in the NBA. People know not to really drive the ball on Rudy Gobert because he may not block it, but he'll alter your shot. And every now and again, as what happens to every good shot blocker, he gets dunked on, or he gets left on an island in the perimeter, and now he's gonna get sauced by someone like John Morant.
Or simply trying to play defense.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, because that was what they did to him. You know what the Clippers did to him last year is they put him out on an island and kept him on the perimeter, where he had to guard guys like Reggie Jackson and Paul George and Terrence Mann, and he couldn't, and he can't guard them because he's slow-footed. And that's just because he's not a perimeter defender. He's an interior defender. But people just want to shit on him. And I don't like that. So all right, so we got the reserves out the way. I'm still kind of shook on that Aaron Gordon one just kind of got me because he's someone that's kind of under the radar. But so let's move on from one more All-Star thing, because I know Mark really wanted to talk about this too. Them damn All-Star jerseys are ugly as hell.
Oh yeah, they are, bro.
Like,
really, they could have way better than this. They just didn't put any effort this year. There's
Bruh,
one full high school mode. I'm like, really, bro?
Bruh, I still have one of the jerseys that I wore from AAU, and it looks better than that.
I can imagine, bro. NBA was like, Lord, we're an NBA brand. People gonna buy it. That's basically what the NBA said.
What I think the NBA needs to do, and where I think they're really lacking, is they need, go back to players wearing their actual team uniforms during the All-Star game. I think they need to do that. I think Major League Baseball tried to get away from that. And the uniforms that they had last year was very much so ugly, and they just need to go back to the teams wearing their actual uniforms. But that's just me. So moving on.
My take on the NBA jerseys is we should go back to letting players wear their own team's jerseys in the All-Star game. Go back to that.
I just said that.
Yeah, basically what he said. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna just assume he didn't really hear it. Yeah, mark that, edit that out. Anyways, there's drama in Hollywood, guys. The Lakers stink. We are 2 games below 500. We're sitting at 9th or 10th in the West. We've lost 2 straight. Which is not good. Really not good. We just got Anthony Davis back. However, it's not this recent. This isn't what we're talking about. Frank Vogel's on the hot seat. Russell Westbrook's getting a lot of hate for how the Lakers have played. The Lakers are vastly underperforming. And it seems like there's a lot of changes that are imminent in LA. There's 7 Hall of Famers on that team. You would think we will be better than 24 and 26. However, we are not. I would very much so not like to talk about the Lakers, but here we are because they've just been in the headlines, like the main media headlines for about the last week and a half. So we're here. Give me your take on what's going on, because they're talking about firing Frank Vogel, that he's basically on, like, he's being evaluated game by game.
On the nights, basically. Basically what you said, it just starts with the coaching because at this point, Frank Vogel, he has to go. Like you said, 7 Hall of Famers on the team. You have LeBron freaking James on the team. And at this point, the All-Star game is coming up, 2 games below 500. You have to look at Frank Vogel, and just like, okay, something's not right. Clearly, your scheme is not working. Like the players out there, really, the Lakers' offense is looking very sloppy. Basically, the Lakers' offense has been give Westbrook the ball, and whether Westbrook wants to like go full Tasmanian double mode or whether he wants to pass it, it's up to him. But in that Charlotte game last night, we saw basically Westbrook, he had to do what he had to do because other players weren't stepping up. And luck, like through the grace of God, his shots were actually falling. He wasn't being Westbrook, but he was actually we're seeing like, that all-star Westbrook, but yeah, and you see that still didn't win the game. Couldn't beat a young Charlotte team. Granted, LeBron wasn't playing and AD wasn't playing, but still, come on now. The Lakers are better, like I said, overall better than this. You have other players that should be weapons on your team, and it's just like, yeah, you have to look at Frank Vogel at this point because something to his scheme is not right. It's like the players aren't clicking. It's like clearly it's like I don't know, maybe miscommunication on court. It's like something players aren't seeing probably eye to eye. It's just like a lot. It's just looking like very sloppy. You're not used to seeing this with an LA team. Because I was telling Evan last night, I'm just like, bro, I'm not used to seeing LA like down bad like this. Like this is the Los Angeles Lakers we're talking about. A very like, worldwide prestigious franchise. And now we're seeing them just struggle like this on a norm. It's like, I don't know, man. Just have to, like, something has to change. And LeBron, he wants another ring for sure. And LeBron is not selling for this. He wants another ring before he retires. So we're going to see some big changes in LA soon. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, the Lakers just, they're fall off and LeBron retires. Nah, it's going to be some big changes soon because Lakers fans, like we know the most, especially LeBron sexuals and all that. They want to see the win, like always win. They're very entitled, most of them. So yeah, Frank Vogel, that might be the first step, most likely. He may be out by the end of this season. Because it doesn't like the Lakers even going to the finals at this point. If they even have some people even have the Lakers at like only a 36% chance of making the playoffs. That's like, dang, that's like very low. But man, it's just a lot right now in a moment.
All right. So I saw the conversation that you and Evan had, and I was gonna save my comments for when we got here. And my thing about yesterday, and even when we played Philly, LeBron and AD is out. And we all know Westbrook has not been Westbrook this year. So you watch that game. I thoroughly expected us to get blown out. When I saw we was down by 16, I expected it. And people getting mad like, oh my gosh, this team sucks. I'm like, they don't have their 2 best players. What do you think is supposed to happen? And you're going up against a team in Charlotte who is good. It's not like Charlotte is a bunch of scrubs or whatever. Charlotte is good. So what do you really expect to happen in that situation? But moving on from that,
it was on ESPN.
Let me say something real quick.
Hey, it was a national televised game, and the Lakers,
the Lakers have been on national TV all year.
That game, and thing is, I was trolling about LaMelo Ball, and then it turned out to be bigger than what it was. I'm like, dang, Charlotte was really taking it on, and it turned out, of course, the whole convo about the Lakers, man, it's like what's going on in LA. It's like, sheesh, people really took that game to heart last night. Some people did.
Hey, let me hop in real quick because the Lakers' flaws that they have on their roster, those have been painfully evident from like before the season even started. And the thing is, wasn't nobody trying to hear all that in the preseason because everybody was too busy giving this team the Larry O'Brien trophy. But when you think about it, there's two things here. Number one, what was the thing the Lakers needed the most after last season? Shooting. What did they not get in the offseason? Shooters. That's number one. And number two, they got all this all-star talent, yes, but they're a really old team. And with age comes injuries.
All past
so we
the
talk
prime,
about
yeah.
we talk about the Lakers, like what this team could do at full health, but never stop to think that this team might not get to full health this season because LeBron's hurt. Anthony Davis, injury prone. Russell Westbrook even suffered an injury last season. So it's just we might never help. And people are starting to realize that now.
Okay. Let me piggyback off of that. Because see, this is where I was just about to go. And Evan, I appreciate you for saying that. It is not, people always want to talk like Westbrook and Frank Vogel have gotten the bulk of the criticism of why LA stinks. Okay. But they never thought to realize, number one, reports came out that LeBron and AD were aware that the Lakers were going to trade to get Buddy Hield. Because like Evan just said, we needed shooting because that's what we didn't have last season. So what were we going to do to change that? We was going to trade to get Buddy Hield, who is a what? A shooter. What does he also do? Oh, he plays defense. And to just put the cherry on top, we would have gotten DeMar DeRozan for a discount. Why? Why do we know this? Because he went on Taylor Rook's podcast last week and told her, I would have taken a pay cut to go to LA. That's how bad I wanted to play for the Lakers. They didn't want to do that. Instead, they told LeBron and AD, told Rob Pelinka, nah. We want Westbrook. DeMar can go to Chicago. Buddy can stay where he is in Sacramento. We want Russell. Okay. Because who is Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss to say no to LeBron and AD, right? Which means it's just it. I have been calling out LeBron about this shit all year. Sanfa.
Yes, sir.
It is cold in here. We don't need no more ice. I'm getting sick of this. Stop. I'm shivering. Anyways,
this man look like he about to go clubbing right after this podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead.
Bro.
Man came in here dripped out, man.
Rings, bro.
Nigga came in here dripped out, put up like
No. This nigga needs
shit,
some rings, a fedora, and a mink coat. And I
hey yo, that'd be smooth,
like
bro. That'd be smooth, bro.
He going straight to Rose Bar after this.
Pulled up flexing with a paw, bro. He funny as shit, bro.
But back to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
It is on LeBron because LeBron called the shots. He called this shot. And it's on the front office because Jeannie and Rob, you could have told the nigga no. You could have said, yo, we don't want that. We don't want Westbrook. Westbrook is not good for us. I remember when it happened. I said I didn't really understand it.
Bro, we literally said it. We literally said it on the pod. Like, this trade is just not gonna work. We literally said it.
I said I didn't go there right off the bat. However, I said, let me see before I even say it's not going to work. So I was I'm not going to say highly optimistic, but I was optimistic. However, we could have had Buddy Hield, we could have kept Caruso, and we could have got DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan was basically coming to LA. It was basically a done deal
On
because
a discount.
like literally
On a
because
discount.
we would have
But
had the
people
cap
want to
space to get him.
But people want to sit here and blame Frank Vogel and Russell Westbrook and everybody else on the Lakers team except for the people at the top. LeBron, Rob, and Jeannie. It is the front office's fault. They need to be held accountable. Stop blaming Frank Vogel. Granted, some of his rotations have been shit even when we won the championship. That happens. That is what it is. It just comes with the territory.
Frank Vogel's a great coach. Mind you, y'all, the 2020 run, y'all rotation was extra short. Like literally, it was LeBron and AD was your entire offense.
Right, but
but it worked. So it's like, hey, don't broke. Ain't broke.
Right.
Don't
it worked.
Ain't broke. It worked.
We had the pieces to win a chip. Now we don't. Like Charles Barkley said, we are old geezers. LeBron James came to the Lakers in 2019. We were the youngest team in the NBA. 2018. We were the youngest team in the NBA. It is now 2022, and we are a bunch of old geezers. We are old.
It's really crazy how the Lakers went from the baby Lakers to the fucking retirement home of the NBA. It's actually
and I
crazy.
missed the baby
4 years. Within 4 years, literally.
Within 4 years, bro. That's crazy.
I miss the baby Lakers.
No, the baby Lakers were fun. They were fun.
Look at the baby Lakers now. They all like shining.
Shining on their team.
Yeah. I hear it at least 10 times a day. We get it. But it's not even just that we got rid of the baby Lakers. That's not what I'm mad about. What I'm mad about is twice you had a championship level team and you blow it up for what? For what? I understand we had guys leaving that was going to leave last year. Schroeder gone, cool, good riddance. Marc Gasol was going to retire, but you had pieces like Caruso, Kuzma, KCP, which I think Kuzma was going to get traded anyway.
Yeah, Kuzma, they were going to have to trade him because
KCP,
he had no role.
Harold, that would have loved to stay in LA, but people need to stop blaming again Vogel and Westbrook because it's not them. Go ahead and fire Frank Vogel if you want to. It's not going to trade nothing.
They do. That'd be so stupid.
Trade with Russell Westbrook. That would be cool with me because that means we won't have to worry about his contract.
That would make more sense to trade Westbrook.
Next year.
People may not like it, but that would make more sense.
And coming years. So do what you got to do. However, right now, again, I look back on that game yesterday and I saw the conversation that Mark and Evan was having on Twitter, and I got vexed, but I didn't say nothing. Because again, LeBron and AD is hurt. How did you expect us to look? I fully expected the Hornets to run up and down on us. I expected it. What I didn't expect was Russell Westbrook to score 30 points in the second half, and we get within 1 point, possibly winning that game. And one thing that needs to be noted, a lot of people are talking shit about how Westbrook shot that 3 at the end of the game. He hit 2 big threes right before that. If I'm Westbrook, I'm letting my nuts hang and I'm shooting that shit again. And really, it's only because the play that they called, he was gonna size him up and see if he could get a lane, and he was gonna take it. He didn't have one. He said, "All right, I'm gonna shoot." Guess who used to do that all the time? Kobe Bryant. Kobe did it all the time. We don't say nothing. I understand why we don't say nothing, but still, we don't say nothing. Westbrook did the same thing.
And here's the thing with Westbrook that I've said ever since he won the MVP. Westbrook is the type of team he's the only player, makes a player team. He's one of those players in the NBA where you can't have him on a team that's super stacked because he's gonna play out of order. His negatives are gonna be hiding more than his positives. He's the type of player where you have to put him on a team where he's the literal focus of everything. There's a reason why this man's been averaging a triple double basically for the past 4 or 5 years. Because in OKC after KD left, he was legit the entire team. He was one man balling, putting everything on his back, doing all he can do. And sadly, due to him being an OKC and they coddled him all these years, Westbrook's never been challenged to change his game. That's why he plays the way he plays. Because you notice how, and I say this all the time, players when they get drafted into the league is very important in their situation because that basically dictates how the rest of their career is most likely going to go. Let's talk about LeBron. LeBron wasted 7 years at Cleveland with a team basically they barely put help around him. It was never that bad enough to get a high draft pick in the draft. And when they did, they fucking drafted Luke Jackson, who's a fucking bust. But there's probably people listening don't even know who the fuck Luke Jackson is. So it's like he's basically like, okay, I got to be the GM. I got to control everything. Even though it's not the right move, can you blame him? Imagine if you were a hooper or say you were working in the industry you work at, say like I said, if you're healthcare, business, whatever you do, computer, IT, whatever you do, and you're in a bad company for 7 years. 7 years, you're with a company that you're losing money. You're not getting paid right. You can't leave the job because you got to get your bills paid. You got to stay above water. You got to make sure you eat, get clothes in your back, everything. And the moment you get an opportunity to go to somewhere and they say you get to dictate how much you get, you're going to make that jump. You're going to say, I want this much because I worked this hard for this many years. And from then on, you're going to want to be in a position where you can control everything. It's natural. It's completely natural. So it's very important in the place you're drafted and how they establish and build you up as an NBA player. And Westbrook has always been coddled. Oh, Russ is Russ. Let Russ do Russ. Let him be him. And now it's affecting his game to the point, oh, yeah, we love Russ's energy. Or we love the dog in him. That's all people love. No one ever likes to say the actual truth about Russell Westbrook. The truth about Russell Westbrook is he was drafted to OKC. They never helped him to refine and establish a game to be an efficient offensive
Seattle, he got drafted by.
But they went to OKC literally the month after he got drafted. Literally the month after. Now, if you said KD, I would have said Seattle. I wouldn't have said OKC. But Russ got drafted, and a month later they left. So he actually never played for Seattle. If we're gonna keep it a buck, we keep it a buck here. But regardless, so
You get your point, yeah.
right, Russ is just like, man, he's never been challenged to get better, to be offensive better, and to also be a consistent defender because Russell can play defense. He just doesn't play it consistently because he's so busy trying to chase the triple double. Bad turnovers, just bad basketball decisions on the court. And then when you criticize him, his interview, he's like, "Well, y'all tripping, y'all hating me." No, bro. I'm guarantee you, half these people they're not hating. They're just saying as it is, man. Your shot selection and your basketball IQ is very lacking for someone that's a former MVP that's been in the league for 13 years. You got to sharpen up. You got to fix it. And The thing is why a lot of people had hope for Russ at LA because they thought LeBron was gonna be able to kind of help shape him, but everybody's like, we're gonna do Russ, let Russ do Russ. Bro, y'all got LeBron playing the five, bro, because of Russ. Because you need as much spacing around him as possible. Like, come on, yo. So, and mind you, when it comes to trading Russ, there's only one player they can get, and that's John Wall. But the thing is, you wonder why they're not gonna get John Wall? Because LA's not gonna give up the last draft pick they have for John Wall. Literally, LA has no control over their draft picks from now all the way to 2027 because New Orleans has all their picks. So it's like, why would, like, even me, why would I give up my last first round pick for John Wall? Literally, the trade fell through because of that asset. Like, it was so funny about that. If you would have went to Houston, Russ would have got a buyout. And then we don't know where he would have went after that. That would have been interesting. But that trade's not going to happen because LA's like, we're not attaching our last first round pick for John Wall. So Russ is not getting traded. I will actually be shocked if he gets traded because no, most teams in the league, they don't value him. They don't. Like, honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, LA is Russ's last shot to not only get a title, but to be a top, considered, respected player in the league. If we're just going to be honest. The Lakers, they have to win with the team that they have now. They just got to do whatever it takes to make any quick change, to make any changes, whatever development they can do. Because I don't see a big trade coming that's going to help save them and save their season. Because Jeremy Grant said he don't want to go to LA because that was in the works. He literally said he's not coming to LA. He doesn't want to be there. Can't blame him. So because when you play in the shadow of LeBron, some players they can't do that. They just crumble under that because his shadow is so big. And you're in LA, basically the second largest sports market, and that LA media, come on now. So Jeremy Grant's not coming. I don't see any big trade coming. They probably gonna end up trading THC, but I don't know what they're gonna get for him.
Man, let me piggyback off that because
Go ahead.
Taylor Horton Tucker is the man that needs to leave LA the most, even more than Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest, the Lakers are treating Taylor Horton Tucker like he's just a waste of a roster spot.
Literally.
Like he's just kind of somebody you throw in garbage, like you throw in garbage minutes, or you put him in when you think the lead is safe. That's how they view Taylor Horton Tucker. They don't really try to develop. So Taylor, for his career, needs to go to a team that treats him like the 21-year-old he is. As in, they know they know he's still developing. They know that this kid actually does have a ceiling. He actually does have a ceiling, and they want to get him there. But the Lakers are like, nah, like you're just in the way.
He's with seven Hall of Famers. It's kind of hard to do.
That's what type of team the Lakers are. They don't develop players. Like, look, who's the last player the Lakers actually developed?
They just want to win.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe. And that's Kobe. Kobe. Yeah.
That's
Jordan Clarkson. Right? Stop it. Jordan Clarkson. Stop it.
What team he play for?
The Lakers. Well, he Jazz now.
What team he play for right now? The Jazz. All right, cool.
I mean,
no. How did he get paid?
From the
by eating food.
I'm dead. He got paid by actually going to Utah. Actually, Mark is stupid. But let me bounce off your point, Evan. That makes you stupid. You're gonna agree with this. The fact that they treat THC like he's just an extra man on the roster, and he's the guy they decided to pay over Caruso. See how stupid that is? That's stupid. That's actually stupid. Like, they gave THC the $8 million per year. Wait, no, 10. He's making like $10 million. He's making money. They gave him a good, sizable contract, and they're not treating him like the investment they put into him. You should have just paid Caruso then. You should have just paid Caruso if you're going to do that. Like, that's all I have to say about that.
Where I say it is the front office's fault.
Yes, sir.
Blame them.
I always blame them, bro. Like, Russell Westbrook is really just, he's, what do they call? What do they call that thing? He's the pawn of the blame. He's the scapegoat. There we go. That's the word I was working with. People are using him as a scapegoat when he's not even really the problem. It's the Lakers front office. Rob Pelinka, Vaughn, Ginny Buss. Because Rob Pelinka wanted to trade for Buddy Hield. Literally, he wanted to trade for Buddy Hield, and that trade would have even have been as big as the Russell Westbrook trade. I think it would have been like what Kuz, KCP, and like it would have been. I don't think it would have been Harold. Well, actually, hold up. I'm trying to think of the money. No, they don't need Harold to make the money work. Yeah, because Buddy Hield makes about 20. Kuz and KCP makes up that money. They would have needed Harold. They probably would have threw in a pick or something, or would have probably put in THT in that deal. Yeah, it would have been THT.
It was THT.
Yeah, THT. Yeah, it would have been THT, Kuz, and KCP. They would have kept Harold. So it's just like I blame them because, like, bro, that's the way y'all should have went. Y'all don't need another ball dominant playmaker like Westbrook. Y'all literally won a chip with LeBron at the point guard. Why did y'all switch it up? All y'all really needed to get was a backup guard that could relieve some minutes from LeBron. So LeBron's not playing 35, 40 minutes like every single game, being the main initiator of the offense. You get a backup guard like a Patty Mills or someone of that ones where they could shoot and they could play make. So it lessens the burden on Braun. That's what you need. You didn't go to get Russell Westbrook. Like from the moment they made the trade, I literally said this is not going to work because their play styles just simply don't go together. And we're seeing it now. Literally, Darren just brought it up. This man Westbrook was basically the best player on the floor for LA. He goes off for 30 points. And he's shooting. He's being confident. He's doing Russ damn things. That's the thing with Russ. The problem with Russ has been for years that he cannot play with other stars. He has to be the main show. He has to be the main focus for him to succeed and thrive. And he's just not that good of a player at that point where I would want that. I wouldn't want him as number one if I'm looking for a championship. No, he's not at that level anymore. His time for doing it has passed. Number two, he was next to James Harden. We saw how that worked. Even though that was kind of more of a Houston thing too, because they really decided to go all in on small ball, and that was a dumb decision from the jump. Like, bro, you putting PJ Tucker at the 5. Rocco at the 5.
But they did it to fit.
That's what I was about to say. I was just about to say it's a double-edged sword because they did it to fit Russell Westbrook because Clint Capella was making Russell Westbrook struggle. So it's just like at this point, if Russ don't make it in LA, what's gonna happen? I think we're gonna see another Blake Griffin situation. That's possibly what's gonna happen if he gets bought out, which is most likely gonna happen. It may be LA, it may be another team. I don't think Russell Westbrook is gonna trade it this year. It might be an off season. Let's say the Lakers they bought him out, they're the 7th, 8th seed, they get eliminated in the first round. Russell Westbrook's definitely getting traded by then.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and if he gets bought out, it's like there's a reason why we don't see a lot of buyout players really succeed anywhere. Because once you get that buyout term on you, it's like, are you really good? Like, look what's happening with Kemba right now. Kemba's struggling. And that's a lot on not just him, but New York. So New York as a whole is just struggling. But they might have some secret concoction planned in the future that if it happens, bro, I will not be shocked. I will not be shocked. I will not be shocked if they get Zion. I really wouldn't be shocked because Zion has gone on so many accords to say he loves playing in New York. He said it so many times. And they got RJ Barrett, and now they got Cam Reddish, his 2 college teammates. I see the writing on the wall. So, but to close off this point about the Lakers, their front office is the one that should get all the blame of what's going on this season. It shouldn't just be Russ or Frank Vogel or anything. First, firing Frank Vogel would be so stupid. Because number one, what coach in the market are you gonna get that's actually gonna be better than Frank Vogel?
Well, here's the thing: when they hired Frank Vogel, it was really because they dropped the ball on Tyronn Lue.
No. I know. Believe me, I know. And no, I laugh. You know why I laugh? Because Mark is wild.
but they dropped the ball on Tyronn Lue, and then they hired Frank Vogel and put Jason Kidd on the roster because Jason Kidd was supposed to be the next head coach.
But Jason Kidd, he ended up going. He's in Dallas right now. So it's like number one, you don't have there's no coach waiting in the wings of we're gonna get him. He's gonna be a better coach than Frank Vogel. That's number one. Number two, Frank Vogel's not the problem because even though his rotations have been a little bit wonky, he's not the problem. He's not the problem. The team and how they've been constructed is a problem. You really thought that building a team of a whole bunch of 30-plus-year-olds was gonna work?
Mhm.
No. They're the oldest team in the league because being the oldest team in the league, they can't play efficient defense because they just simply don't got the legs. Like, bro, like, why did you think making the oldest team in the league was going to give you the chance to win the championship? It's just not going to work. Experience is good, yes, but
When
when when it gets to an overwhelming point where you're basically buying players like on their last legs or like maybe their last productive legs, it's not going to work.
what I think the Lakers are doing, and you'll hear a lot of analysts say it. They'll say that the Lakers are a team that's built for the playoffs, which I think is true. I think that's actually true. I think they are built for the playoffs. They have vets. They have a couple young guys they can sprinkle in there, but you have the stars, and you have vets around, and you got a couple young guys and whatever. What the Lakers are assuming is when you go to the playoffs, the game slows down, and then they don't have to be running with teams like Memphis and with teams like Memphis and Charlotte and Denver and all that, because
Golden
now it's going
State
to be
too. Golden State
go
has a high fast pace too. They're
and,
fast pace.
Golden State, because now you got to slow the game down, which is noted to be true in the playoffs. However,
However,
the way it's looking, will we even make the playoffs?
number one,
That's number
36%
one.
chance only. It's
number
crazy,
one,
man.
number
Yeah,
one. Are they even gonna
I
make it?
don't, I don't, I don't worry about those. But will we even make the playoffs?
Mhm.
Like that, because it's not really looking good just by the way that we look.
What's the
But
tough conference, man? Like, yeah.
Actually, the funny thing about the Eastern Conference is harder this year, but
yeah,
But it's hard to dig yourself out of a
the,
hole in the West. I mean, still, it's
the
hard to
West is
dig
top.
yourself out of a
The
hole.
West is top heavy.
Yeah,
I ain't worried about the
yeah,
Western
it
Conference.
is
yeah, the
though.
West is
Yeah,
extremely tough.
it's like them three teams. It's like like Phoenix.
Well,
What's it
Utah
called?
is up there,
Yeah,
but we don't take Utah as
yeah.
a serious contender here on
Yeah,
Field.
I
I'm not
never
gonna
take
lie.
them
Like I
seriously every
like I
year.
said,
Never.
if we, I said it last week. If we make the top, if we can get out the play-in, I don't care. I don't
If
care.
y'all get to the
Run
HC,
it.
y'all will be good. Honestly, if y'all get to the
It-
HC at least.
no,
Y'all
because
will be good.
we're still in the play-in. If we get the 6th seed or 5th seed, run it. I want all the smoke. I don't care.
Bro, I'm
Run it.
sorry, bro. Can you imagine? I'm gonna say the funniest scenario, bro. What if the Lakers make like the fifth seed and they got to face Utah in the playoffs and they fucking beat Utah? I'll be
Run it.
dying laughing.
Bro,
I'll
that
be
would be
dying,
funny.
but that would be the funny. But y'all will see me out here rolling. But I'm like, bro, Utah is forever a joke after that, bro. They will
Yeah,
forever
for
be a joke.
real.
Like they're already a joke. But if, like, say the
Well, heard my
Lakers,
Rudy Gobert agenda, but
like, bro, if the
Nah,
Lakers get fifth
Smiles, they're
seed,
just giving him more stuff to
and
go
I'm
off
not talking
Rudy
about the
Gobert.
Lakers beat. I'm talking about the Lakers like gentlemen sweep them, bro. I'm gonna be dying laughing, bro. I would
Like a
laugh.
4-0 series.
Like
That'd
a
be
four
wild.
one, bro. I'd be like, yo.
Because at the point, Donovan Mitchell, we got to get out of there, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'd be
Utah,
like, D Mitch,
future.
you gotta go,
Yeah,
bro.
it's
Go to New
time.
York, bro. Go back home, bro. Then
Like shit, for
New
real,
York
bro.
need a hometown savior, bro. Go home and save him, bro. Like for real. Number one, are they gonna even make the playoffs? Number two, we did this last year. Y'all did that last year where y'all was saying, okay, LA, we make it to the playoffs, we're gonna turn a switch. And number one, y'all were not fully healthy. Number two, y'all had no chemistry because y'all basically had players coming in and out the lineup. So when y'all got to play, y'all literally had no chemistry. And then number three, y'all were facing Phoenix, which was the hottest team in the league going to the playoffs last year. They were literally the hottest team in the playoffs.
I want to say one thing, and I will take it to my grave. We would have beat the shit out of Phoenix if Chris Paul ain't do that bullshit.
Wait, did Chris Paul like actually try to ended up injuring AD?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what the play was. I remember the game. I
Oh, I
just
know what
remember
play
the
you're
play.
I
talking
don't
about.
I
Yeah,
remember the
I
I
game.
remember
don't
the
I
play.
remember
remember the
exactly
play.
what he
I
did,
remember the play though.
but he
Yeah, I
did
think
something that hurt
it's like a
Anthony. That
weird,
hurt
kind
Anthony
of like
Davis.
I don't know if it's like I think Chris Paul was trying to like almost like an accident where like an intentional accident. Remember when LeBron like elbowed what's his name? Yeah, Isaiah Stewart. It's almost like he was trying to throw him off, but it ended up being worse than what it was. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think it was
yeah,
one of those kind of plays. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
trying to kind of
Because,
play
bro, I
dirty, but end up
remember.
actually injuring the dude.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
I'll never get over that first game. Said 80 made fucking whatchamacallit DeAndre Ayton look like his bitch boy. I was dying laughing, bro.
no, Aiden
Yes.
took that
That
to
shit
heart.
was
Aiden took
hilarious.
that to heart, bro.
If if
DA
if
took that
we
to heart, bro.
if Anthony Davis does not get hurt, we handle Phoenix. I
I,
I I
no, I
stand by
stand
that.
by y'all winning for sure. Y'all would have won if AD didn't get injured for sure. But beating them handily, I don't know about that. They probably would
Oh
have
no,
won
we're
the series.
handling them. We're handling them.
I agree to disagree. But yeah, like so it's like y'all are not in a good position to say, okay, let's wait to no, bro, because y'all got to get to the playoffs first. Y'all got to get out the playing because if y'all get in the playing and y'all get matched up with a team that's hungry, like a Denver, because Denver is kind of down there with y'all. You know, Denver they Jamal Murray come back because he might come back this season, he might not. We got to see how
Mike,
the
yeah,
progress goes on that. If he come back and they start cooking and they end the season hot and y'all gotta face them, damn, that's about to be interesting. But the
it's been a
Lakers
good
is like
series,
I
man.
said, they're just an interesting dilemma. Like I said, they're at the 8th seed right now, and we're about to hit the second wave of the second half of the season. All stars coming up,
It's at the
trade
All-Star
deadlines
break. It's
coming up.
like that's when it's like who's in, who's out, like who who's really good. Like like who do you take
Once we
seriously?
hit March, that's when playoff seeding start being set. So it's gonna be interesting. But
March Madness,
like
ironically
shit.
starts.
But I wasn't
Right.
here earlier, so I missed a little bit. But I got to talk about my Wizards. Wizards, y'all gotta do something. What the fuck was that?
Celtics
What
Heat.
Who?
what the fuck
Hey,
was
Evan.
that, bro?
Hey, where's Evan on this? Because Evan, you want to
Yo,
talk about it, bro?
yo,
Because you went incognito for a couple days
yo,
after that, bro.
yo,
No.
Hey,
yo,
bro,
yo,
that was some like,
yo, yo,
shoot,
bro. What the fuck was that? Tommy Shepard, my guy,
disaster in the
sir.
nation's capital.
You have to be active at the trade deadline. There's no way we could go through that and you don't make a move. We have enough pieces to make a big move to swing in a positive direction, make a trade. I was
Hey,
already
Sanfa, see this
advocating
picture?
for it.
That's how I was feeling, bro. Remember when
Bruh,
this picture
bruh,
happened? That's how y'all, I
as
know y'all pain,
soon
bro.
as I
That's why I
saw
put this
that
picture
picture,
up.
bruh,
I know y'all
that's why
pain,
I
bro.
burst out laughing. I was like, bro, this man
I
Mark.
know what it's like when bullshit happens to basketball. Yeah, trust me, man. I feel y'all pain, man. Because like, what the
Man,
hell? It's like I look at West Unfield Jr. I'm like, bro, you guys are up 35 fucking points. How do you let them at home? Let them come all the way back and
well, I'm
lose?
not even really
I'm just
mad
confused,
at
bro.
the coaching because number one, West Unfield, this is his first year as a head coach.
That is true, but still, you
Like,
don't blow games like
like
that,
yeah, you
man.
don't blow. Of course, you don't blow a 35-point league, yeah, for sure. But it's like it's his first year. He's still trying to kind of gather chemistry with this group of players, And this is a new team. We literally just got a whole bunch of new players this season, So the
True,
gathering, the
true.
mixing, the chemistry hasn't been the best. But there's no way you're telling me you're going to allow a Clippers team that does not have Kawhi Leonard, PG, Serge Ibaka, and a whole bunch of other players. Like basically almost the whole starting lineup from last year is not even either there or not healthy. And you let them come back and win the game and drop a 35-point lead. Come on, bro. No. All I gotta say, trade gotta happen. If a bill trade is coming up, bro, yo, I'm with
A
it.
lot of interesting trade scenarios,
I'm
man. A
actually
lot.
with it, bro. Because it's at the
Yeah.
point now. There's no way we can stand pat. We gotta make a trade. We gotta make an impactful trade. This trade deadline, we have to. Because if we don't, bro, I'm telling you, we're gonna fall down the standings and we're probably gonna fall out the playoffs. Because the East is a bloodbath this year. You lose 2-3 games in the Eastern Conference, you're almost out the playoffs now. Like the 1 through the 6 is separated by like 4 games, probably even less than that, like
Honestly,
3 or 4. So it's very
like
tight
three
in
and a
the
half,
East.
like shit.
You go on a 4 or 5 game losing streak, you out the playoffs, so you got to get yourself back in. So DC, y'all got to get your stuff together. That was a
Look at
fucking
Miami. They number one
atrocity.
seed right now.
That was an atrocity of atrocities. What the fuck was that? That's all I have to say about that. I'm not speaking any further on that. That shit pissed me the fuck off.
Man.
I saw that shit. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro? Y'all niggas got to get your shit together. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. All
Can I tell
star.
the story?
Go ahead. And I'm gonna go on.
So I was there,
Of course.
and it got to a point from like middle first quarter to the third quarter. I was so bored watching the game. I started watching the Lakers and the Nets. So I'm watching that game, and I look up, and the Clippers are down by 10. Then they get down by 5, and I say, okay, let me cut this game off because that at that point, Lakers Nets was over. The Lakers had a good lead. I don't know what happened. What I do realize is, why is Daniel Gafford not playing in the second half? That's number one. Why is it that the Clippers are playing the starters? Actually, no. The Clippers rested their starters. Now you look like you're about to sell drugs.
I got multiple personalities, man.
But the Clippers rested their starters.
Mm-hmm.
Or they rested some people like Batum and Jackson didn't really play in the second half.
Oh yeah, Reggie Jackson been killing this year. Shout out to Reggie Jackson.
So they threw in the towel. I don't know what the Wizards was doing, bro. I don't.
They didn't want to win, bro. They didn't want to win that game.
I don't know. I think what the Wizards did is they started playing with their food. Remember earlier in the football season where I was talking about Dallas playing with their food, they gonna fuck around and lose. Yep. Although it didn't happen. They didn't give up a big lead. Almost gave up a big lead and lost to Washington. But you don't play with your food. You just get rid of it.
And you don't let your foot off the gas.
Exactly. And that's what Washington was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't want to win that game. They literally said, all right, but we got in the bag and we about to pack it up, bro. It's over, bro. No.
And I just want to say this. Mm-hmm. The Wizards was up by 5 with 11 seconds left. Mm-hmm. I get up from where I was sitting. I walk to the back over to my corner where the visitors tunnel is because the game's over. So I just sit there, watch the players walk out, then I just do my work. However, as I'm walking from one side to the other side, I hear a big roar. And then I hear Luke Kennard.
Wow.
Okay, he made 1 3. They're down by 2. Or it was something like that. I don't remember. Oh no, they were down by 6. He made a 3 and they was down by 3. So I walk out through the tunnel. Mind you, I'm right behind the bench now. The Wizards get a 5-second call. I say, you got to be fucking shitting me. And one of the dudes on the Clippers staff was standing right next to me. He said, we might tie this game up. Boy, I saw that ball go up. And that thing went in. I said, no way. And then they called a foul. And this is what I have a problem with. Wizards fans act like Wizards fans want to be treated like the best teams in the league when they ain't shit.
LOL.
It's true. And I'm not even going to say Wizards fans. Washington fans in general, they want to be treated like, since we're talking about the Wizards, they want to be treated like the Bucks and the Nets and the Lakers and the Warriors and the Suns. They want to get that treatment, but they're not good enough. You know? They're like, this is a bad analogy, but they're a side chick that wants to be treated like a main chick. That thinks they the main, thinks they the main, but really they the side. Like, nah. That's what the Wizards are.
Now, you know what the Wizards really are, bro? Imagine you got a plate. This is Thanksgiving. This is about to hit you. You got your turkey. You got your green beans. You got your mashed potatoes and gravy. You got your mac and cheese. You know what the fucking Wizards are, bro? They're the fucking stuffing. That's what the fuck they are.
Hey. That dressing be good.
They do though. You got to make it just right, man.
That dressing be good. No, the Wizards is that one dessert. Like this, that one dessert that everyone just kind of look at and just like, it looks good, and you eat it.
Bro, that was my next. I'm like, bro, it's like the one person that made the fucking pumpkin pie that nobody eats.
Yeah,
It looks weird.
It looked like sweet potato pie, but then you
But
eat
it's sweet
it,
potato
like,
pie.
That tastes like, oh,
this
what's
is not
this?
sweet potato pie.
What is this?
They ask you, is it good? You be
But-
like, yes,
But
yummy. You gotta lie like shit.
I say this to say they want the media coverage to treat them like they're the best. And then you want the refs to give you good team calls or true. And I understand that, you know, the refs need to make a good call. They need to make great calls. Number one, you shouldn't even got to that place in the first place. Same thing as I said with the Bills and Chiefs. Should have never got there in the first place. But you expect the referees to you expect the referees to give you the luxury of prolonging the game because you fucked up and you want to say that they fucked up. No. This is your fault. This is your bed. You made it. You got to lie in it. And that's that. Until Washington, and this goes for both the Washington football team and the Washington Wizards.
The Commanders.
As monuments. The Washington
Commanders.
Monuments.
That's what they. I'm pretty sure Commanders. That's the name they picked.
It's either gonna be it's gonna be Commanders. But
Monuments be a funny name.
bro, if they're the monuments and the Washington Monument is their logo, do you understand
That would be funny as hell,
that they're
bro.
going that their main logo, just like the Wizards, is going to be a giant penis?
Like, bro, that would be wild.
Do you
as
not
hell,
understand that? The Wizards have a giant penis in their logo.
Oh my goodness. They gotta I wonder what they were thinking about when they were designing the logo, bro.
Yo, if they really name it the monuments and they really make their logo a legit giant dick, bro. But the memes are number one, the memes gonna be funny as hell. That's just gonna be hilarious. Number two, they're gonna be a constant joke. So I just hope they don't do that. Save them the pressure. Save them the horror of doing that to them. But yeah, like the problem with DC, Washington's never been a truly like top tier respected franchise in the first place. Let's just be honest. Like, I'm not a delusional Wizards fan. I call it as it is. We've never been that because for the majority of the 2000s and the 2010s, we were like a mid-level team at best. Yeah, we had times where, like 2017 where we won like 50 games and we were like the fourth or third seed. Yeah, but most of the time, DC, we're not a respectable franchise. We're literally middle of the pack.
And the only teams that really get that And even still, they don't even really get it. The Caps and the Nats, they get that notoriety, they get that attention. But I will say for the Nationals, when they were really good, and even with the things that they had accomplished in 2019, as Evan can allude to, they didn't get the respect that the Dodgers got when they won the World Series, that the Red Sox got when they won the World Series. They didn't really get that. That the Braves
kind of
are
just
getting,
came and went.
that
It kind of just came and went for real.
that the
Yeah, I see
Braves
what
are
you're saying.
getting right now for winning the World Series. The Nationals didn't get that. It was kind of like, oh, that's cute. You got your cute little ring. And this,
See,
that,
and I feel like part of it is because MLB don't know how to market outside of New York and LA, but that's a completely different rant. And another part is, let's face it, nobody respects DC as a sports town, bro. They look at DC and they think all we are is politics.
That's
Like
very
nobody,
true.
You know
I'm
what?
glad
You're not
you
lying,
said that.
bro. You are
I'm
not lying, bro.
so glad
they
you
think
said
nobody. They think nobody actually lives here. They think we have no culture. They think we're not even a real city. We're just Capitol Hill, and that's it. Like as if we don't, as if the sports teams here are inherently less important because DC they've decided is not a real sports town.
And y'all have a lot of
and the
sports history
problem,
too.
and
That's
the
the thing.
problems,
Y'all have a lot of sports history.
and the problems, and the problem is outside of the Caps and the Nats, you know, you go to a Washington football team game, you go to a Washington Wizards game. I do not know for the life of me, and I was downright disgusted in the best Stephen A voice that I have. Disgusted at being at that Clippers game, and it sounded like there were more Clippers fans there, even when the Wizards were winning. It seemed like there was more Clippers fans there than it was Wizards fans.
That's usually
And
how it is, though.
what fans do the Clippers have? Really?
It's crazy. That's always been in like Cap One, you know, when it was Verizon Center 2, like when opposing teams, let's say like I went to a Heat game back when D Wade was in his bag. Like most people were there for Dwayne Wade, like back in his bag. It's like when LeBron comes into town, and you see hella Lakers fans, like, bruh, it's like it's just sad. Like that, it's just that's how it's been in DC. It's like high market for like certain players. They just don't have their own, you know, like never really had their big, you know, own player like that. And it's just kind of sad. And the John Wall, you know, thing just didn't go too well. So it kind of sucks for them. Yeah,
you kind of gotta expect that when it's like Boston has a huge fan base. The Lakers have a
Miami has a huge fan base.
Philly has a huge fan base. The Knicks, the Heat, Brooklyn really only has a huge fan base because of Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. That's really about it. You know, all them Nets fans that was there when they was here last week, they were just a bunch of bullshit fans. I don't pay them no mind. But with those fan bases, you kind of expect that. I won't get mad at that. When the Cowboys come to town, and it seems like there are more Cowboys fans here than there are Washington fans, that's because it's not entirely true, but it's kind of true.
It can be 50-50. It can be 50-50 for real when it comes to Dallas and Washington.
Because the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots have the two biggest fan bases in the NFL. And then there's your Raiders, and then there's the Eagles. But the problem is, and I was talking to somebody at the arena about this, there are a lot of people that live in DC now, as what Evan said, because the city, as they say, is about politics, which we know it's really not, but it's politics driven. And you have a lot of people moving in from New York, California, Texas. It's a transit city. You have people from all around, and they're pushing the natives out. And the thing is, and then so when you have teams like a Boston, LA, Philly especially.
And also, before you continue, Darren, these people they move to the DMV and bring their fandom with them.
Exactly. So
That's how I was gonna
so
say.
so when you have people moving from those cities, and most importantly Philly, because Philly's right there, you know, you're gonna have fans coming in that don't like the Wizards. And the other problem that I have with the DC natives is we understand that, and I will never tell, and I kind of understand why they don't do it, but you have people that love the Bullet / Wizards, that love the Redskins football team monuments.
We call them the classified, sir.
The Washington what the fucks. That's classifies. That's too cool for them. The Washington what the fucks. But we call WTF. The natives are like, the product is so bad, I don't want to go watch this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Shit,
me as a Mark as a Sixers fan. Oh, I'll gladly buy this ticket for $40 to go watch my Sixers. I'll gladly spend $500 to go sit in nosebleed seats to go watch the Lakers. You know, this person will gladly spend the money to go see Memphis, to go see to go see Sacramento. Glad we go see Sacramento. And I'll get all of my DMV Sacramento fiends, and we'll come in here and we'll turn this bitch purple.
Jesus Christ. You said Sacramento, bro. You said, bro, this man there used a worse, lesser franchise than this. Sacramento hasn't been relevant since the fucking early 2000s.
We'll change this whole purple. Look, we got a Ravens game.
Like shit.
And that's the thing about and that's the thing about the Ravens. Right up the street. But them Ravens fans gonna show out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Plenty of them. I see plenty of them.
Oh my goodness, bro. But
Ravens fans gonna show up.
Oh no, it's only
45 minutes.
45 minute drive, bro.
Down the Parkway, bro. 995. Yeah.
Even when they wasn't that good,
right,
they showed up.
Yeah.
I went to an Orioles game. The Orioles stink, and the Orioles fans showed up.
Bro, that's the fucking shit.
It's just like Washington. Yeah, the fans aren't as passionate. Not really as passionate. A lot of them really aren't. It's kind of, you know.
Oh no!
You see the difference, man. Certain ones aren't passionate. I'm not saying you haven't, but
let me stop you right there.
Oh man,
the fans are passionate. We just don't tolerate bullshit, and that's what the Wizards and the football team are giving us. Bullshit. Like when the team stop bullshitting, we
players have called y'all fans out,
like, even when they stop bullshitting for like
honestly,
a game
that makes a difference. No, players have called y'all fans out before. Washington players,
because
have called y'all fans out. Y'all part of the problem.
Philly's like this.
Y'all part of the fucking problem, though, bro.
For what I'm saying, Philly. For what I'm about to say, if you let me fucking talk, damn. Philly's like this too, and where there's a direct correlation between winning and fans coming to your games. The more you win, the more fans show up. Football team ain't been winning, so fans ain't coming. Wizards ain't winning. Fans haven't been coming. So, but when the Nats were winning, Nats Park was packed. Caps are winning. Cap 1 is packed. It's a direct correlation. But the thing is, and really, I feel like at least the football team is on the right track
basically
here.
Give up on your team.
Where
I get it.
They're building themselves slowly but surely into a playoff caliber team. And really, 2021 felt better than any Washington football season since I'd say 2012, because 2021, and I know, Darien, you don't want us talking like this, but bro, 2021 was the first time in a minute where Dallas week felt like it actually meant something.
That's
like,
true.
True. This was the first year where we didn't look at Dallas, where we didn't look at the Cowboys game on our schedule as, oh, here comes another game where a division rival is going to come into our stadium and just whoop our ass. We actually thought we could beat Dallas.
Can I
Can
I interject?
It's a low bar to set, but But once
Can
you
I
get the
interject
"we want
right
Dallas"
quick?
chants back, that's how you know the fan base at least cares somewhat. So
Yeah,
now just build on that.
I do
I
want
see
to.
different in some aspects. I see
Something
different a lot though. I get what you're saying, Evan. It is probably a good, but a big portion I see a difference where like the fans don't give a fuck for. Like I've seen a lot of big portion where like they don't. I'm just giving it a buck though, but
I feel like
yeah,
it's
I
a
guess it's a mix.
two-sided issue.
It really is. Like I've noticed that in DC for fucking years now, bro. Where like Washington fans when they're called the fucking Redskins, they just straight up don't give a fuck. Yeah, they haven't been showing up at games and they're saying the day that's empty. Games are being getting blown out and shit. Yeah, you have no support for the team. Why the hell is the team going to show out or whatever? If the fans aren't even investing time or money into the franchise is just shit. Like, well, like,
But
yeah, like, what more can you do about it? But
Mark,
yeah, I've seen a lot of they just see no passion. I've seen it though. That's what I'm saying.
What you just said.
Be there with the struggle.
Why is it that y'all loved what Zach Ertz had to say when he was leaving Philly? Zach Ertz said, I have to put on for these fans because these fans are going to hold me accountable. So you're in DC, okay, and I'm gonna try to tie it in because Evan did a good job at kind of making this connection. The Eagles know damn well that number one, in the NFL and even in sports in general, they know the fans is what moves everything. That's number one. The Eagles players and everyone in Philly, Joel Embiid, Zach Ertz, Jalen Hurts, Bryce Harper, whoever the hell's on the Philly, or not on the Phillies, the Flyers. I can't think of his name right now, but they know that if they're shitty, the fans are not coming, and they want the fans there. So they know that they have to show out in order for the fans to come. The thing with Washington, where I understand the players calling out the fans for not coming, is there have been years where Washington was fairly decent. And it's Dallas week, and it's like your AT&T Stadium North. What I wanted to say with Evan is he is exactly right when it comes to the passion. Because when it was Dallas week, I kid you not, it was a Twitter war. It was a Twitter war. I was more up for the first Washington Dallas game more than I was for our playoff game. Because there is a hatred there. There is a rivalry there. I remember back when you had London Fletcher and Santana Moss and Clinton Portis with whomever was quarterbacking the Washington football team when they had Champ Bailey going up against Tony Romo and Terrell Owens and Jason Witten, DeMarcus Lawrence, Terrence Newman, and those boys. During those years, even though we weren't the best of teams, it was still fun. RG3, those years when they were pretty good, the city felt different. It was a different feel. Hell, even last year when they made the playoffs, it was a different feel because they're having some success even though they was below 500. They still made the playoffs. They still went into that first playoff game and gave Tom Brady a run for his money. When they went on that 4-game winning streak, it was different around here.
Yeah, it was.
The fans are going to show out if if the team is doing good, like, but it's sometimes seems like they have to be doing really good for them to do that.
I kind of agree with both you and what Evan said. 'Cause like I said, Washington
And then
fans, they just
let
don't
me
have the
piggyback
time
on
for
what
bullshit. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
yeah, and it's just like let me piggyback on this one thing because this is really what frustrates me most about DC sports fans is that they'll turn their back on the team the moment things start to get kind of bad,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
when the team starts losing up to games or whatever, but the second the team starts winning again, they come right back trying to talk
Right.
trying to
Like
talk
they've been there
oh,
the
I
whole
was here
time.
the
Like
whole
there
time,
was rough riding and shit. Yeah, that
and
shit
it's like,
blows
bro,
me.
like they was here the whole time, and it's like, bro, when we stunk, you wasn't. Not only were you not watching the games, you was all on Twitter every time, like retweeting the team's graphics every time they lose and saying, "See, this is why I'm glad I don't watch the games anymore." And it's like, bruh, like I love y'all, but y'all have a bad tendency of being fake in this game, man.
Yeah, DC is full of fair weather fans.
That's the point I was making earlier, basically what I was saying, and that's why I was basically calling out. That's why I said what I said. That's the point I was making. But yeah, but I'm tired of talking about DC and fans because it's not my problem, honestly. It ain't my business, So fuck. And yeah, anyways, yeah, that's all I have to
Yo,
say. I'm saying no more because they don't do enough. I'm
that'll be
saying
a
no more. I'm
that'll be
done
a
fucking talking about
fun
DC.
that'll be a fun, interesting part to just kind of compare fan bases. Like in big cities, that'd be
Not my
interesting.
fucking problem. Oh, we can do
Um,
that. Oh, I was
yeah,
so down.
that'd
I'm
be
down to
dope.
compare fan bases
Yeah,
because fan base
that'd be
is
a
like the
dope.
most. I'm down to compare fan bases for sure. I'm
That'd
down
be
to
a
do
dope
it.
idea. It just
Hey,
kind of popped in
I'm
my
down
head.
for it.
But
Mm-hmm. But
Philly is
anyways,
DC on
yeah.
steroids. Philly fans are DC fans on steroids, bro. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, you can say that.
yikes, bro. But, man. Anyway, I wasn't here for the All
Uh,
Star thing.
the next one is called Lit, I see.
We talked about.
Yeah, we talked about that. We covered that. Yeah.
Basically, who are your reserves? And do you want me to go down the list of who the starters are again?
Yeah, just going on the list again one more time.
All right, bet. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
All right.
Give me 1 second. All right. For the Eastern Conference starters, he's going to get filled in by somebody. You can add that into your
Of
reserves.
course, KD, right?
So yeah, so Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Trae Young, and DeMar DeRozan.
Are you able to pull up the final van voting and look for the Eastern front court? Because that's most likely whoever that is who's going to fill the spot most likely.
Complete voting results. Eastern Conference front court. Okay. Right behind Joel Embiid for the front court is Jason Tatum.
I knew it. I was like, it's going to be JT. Okay. So I'm just going to put JT as a starter because how they usually do it, basically, if a starter is like injured, they're just going to put in whoever had like the most fan votes behind the people that got in. So it's going to be Jason Tatum.
I do want to say one thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind Jason Tatum is Jared Allen.
Jared Allen's going to get in. He's going to be a reserve.
Most definitely.
He's going to be a reserve for sure. I would love for it to be Jared Allen and Darius Garland. That would be dope. The home team get 2 All-Stars, but I don't know. Like, Darius will probably have to make it on the wild card.
Yeah.
Like, that will most likely be the way he gets it. Because the wild card is that's kind of like the most ambiguous one. Like, you don't know who's going to make it via that one. But let me see. Reserves. Okay. So that's for the East. Let me go to the East. Okay. I definitely Jared Allen. Jared Allen, probably Zach. For sure. I see Zach getting in. Zach probably got good enough votes. Who else? Man, I'm blanking right now. My head is in like 2,000 circles. I think LaMelo could make it either as a reserve or a wild card. Because I think the coach is going to see that he truly does have the type of game that could be a first time All Star. Because I feel like there'll be a lot of first time All Stars this way around. And I love that. Jesus, why am I blanking? Oh my goodness, I'm over here forgetting teams, forgetting like it. I think Freddie's gonna make it Fran Van Vliet for sure. I can see him getting in. Fred VanVleet,
Right.
he's been kicking it. You know, yeah, Drake based on the court. Man's headline always looking sharp.
Drake.
Like, that man came at average 27, but he's on the tear. That boy has been hooping. Fred VanVleet for sure. If you don't make a reserve, he'll make it wild card. Um, Jesus, I should have had this up written down. That's all. Always write stuff down. Could you go back to the fan voting and pull up the players? Because I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you want me to look at? You want me to look at the front court guards.
Go to the guards.
All right. So the starters was DeMar DeRozan, Trey Young. Right behind them is Zach LaVine and James Harden. And with
James
Melo
Harden.
Ball,
That's what I was forgetting.
Harden.
Who the fuck? Why did I forget James Harden? James Harden's gonna make.
I definitely forgot James
I
Harden.
don't know why I forgot James Harden, bro. I'm tripping. But yeah, James
I
Harden's
did too,
definitely.
not
James
gonna
Harden's
lie.
probably gonna be the lead reserve.
Well, maybe it's
James
because
Harden.
Speaking of James Harden, did y'all hear what freaking whatchamacallit LaMarcus Aldridge and Patty Mills, that it was when the Brooklyn faced San Antonio, and LaMarcus Aldridge and Patty Mills had like this beautiful video tribute, and he was salty as shit. I was like, damn, I wish I could get something like that. That shit was funny as hell. I laughed. I said, bro, you sabotaged the team, bro. Like, bro, you said you want John Wall, then when John Wall came to the team, you said fuck him and then fucking wore a fat suit. Like, bruh. Even though I recognize your talent, you as a talent. You know, we at 3-1 Outlet Podcast do not consider James Harden a scrub. Yeah,
Free
yeah,
wall.
yeah. We're never gonna let you get that go. He knows who I'm talking about. He knows who I'm talking about. But yeah, free John Wall. John Wall needs to go to a different team, not to LA though, because I just don't see that trade happening. Yeah, I kind of have to stick it. But who are the front court for the? I know we said Jared Allen. I'm trying to think of who else.
All right. So right behind Embiid, because Tatum's going to be a starter. Jared Allen, Jimmy Butler,
Butler.
Miles Bridges, Bam Adebayo.
Jimmy Butler and Bam are probably going to make it over Miles Bridges. I don't see Miles Bridges. If
How
anyone,
many games has Bam missed?
I'm about to check him right now. He did miss a few games though. Not about
Because I feel like if Bam gets in, AD should get in.
I think AD is going to get him because he came back at literally the perfect time. Like like if AD came back any later than he did, he would have been an absolute no.
And he came back and he played well the 2 games that
He
played.
Yeah, no lie. Okay.
I played Embiid. I just want to say that.
Okay, I'm on Basketball Reference. So he's only played 24 games this season.
Yeah, that's like half of the games.
Yeah, so he's missed half the game. I think Bam will still make it though because he's still putting up, but his stats are still pretty good. He's putting up 18 with a steal, almost a block, with 3 assists, 10 rebounds. Like he's still playing very good.
I mean, I'd rather see Bridges. I mean, I get it, but he missed.
I say Miles Bridges, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd rather see Bridges or Siakam go in.
Yes. I want Spicy P to be an All-Star this year. I was saying it before and people started calling, but I'm tripping. But yeah, let me go to I'm searching up. I'm gonna go to the West, so I have it. Let me do the West, so I have everything in front of me.
LeBron James.
I'm dead. I don't want the starters. That's not what I'm looking for. I just want
the GM.
Okay. Let me look at the Oh wow. Okay. So for the Western All Star, the reserve, I think Draymond Green could get in because so you want to know how many votes this man actually got? He has the 4th most front court votes with 2.4 million votes.
Oh yeah.
I know Cat's gonna get in for sure. Cat's getting in. Rudy's getting in. Wait, isn't Rudy starting?
No. The starters.
Oh, Jokic.
LeBron, Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic.
Wiggins,
Jokic.
Ja.
Yeah, so Rudy Gobert's getting in. Cat's getting in. Draymond Green's gonna get in. AD's gonna get it because AD number one, he has just way too many votes. But the thing is, what hurts AD is the player votes. Let me tell you something funny. AD has less player votes than Melo. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. AD has 19 player votes. Melo has 20. But the reason I see Davis getting in is because he even has more votes than Draymond. But here's the stupid part. This is the part I know Evan's gonna agree with me, right? Why are you voting in an injured player? Like, why do people vote for PG? Why? What's the point?
Because of the popularity contest.
But I don't even care. Honestly, bro, I don't even care. He's not gonna play.
We've been discussing this. All-star voting been done, honestly.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's really stupid. Like, it's like, bro, we all know Paul George is an all-star player. Like, nobody's disrespecting Paul George. He's an all-star level player. He's a top 15 player in the league. That's not even a debate. I fuck with Paul George heavy, but he's not coming back. He's injured. He's out for the rest of the season. Why waste the vote on him when you know he's not going to play?
I low-key called somebody else who did a mock draft. I ain't going to say about a Twitter name, but they're like, these are my East All-Star starters this year. It's like they put KD as one of the starters. I'm like, it's KD, but like KD's not even playing.
See,
so
the thing
like,
with KD
we
is
do that list, bro. Like,
but yeah,
I knew he wasn't playing, bro.
And that's the worst thing about all this, bro, because with fan vote factoring in as much as it does, we're never going to get all the best players in the East or the best players in the West. Exactly. We just going to get the most popular ones.
Yeah, and the thing that's annoying is, like I said, the reason I'm laying on the KD, he got injured during the voting. So that one I'm not mad about. Like, his injury is new. Paul George has been basically banged up the whole season. Like, his injury that he's out on, he's had it for over a month. He had it from last year. So the voting started literally the beginning of this month. And we all knew PG was at the earliest he was probably going to make it back, maybe the playoffs. He's out for the rest of the season. So it's like, why waste the vote? There's literally no point. You're voting for someone that's not going to be in the game. Like, it'll be understood. We all know Paul George is healthy. He's a starter. Automatically, he's a starter. But it's just like, I just don't understand why people voted for players people
play too much 2K.
Play.
I don't know.
they're not going to play. Like, they're literally not going to play. Like, we know they're out for the rest of the season. Like, I would rather see someone like Brandon Ingram get in the game, get a lot of votes. He deserves to be an all-star.
That makes sense.
He's been playing
good.
All
about him. I still remember reserves. I literally forgot about him, bro.
Yeah, it's not his fault that the Pelicans have been struggling. That's not his fault.
That's why I forgot. The Pelicans. You just reminded me why I forgot.
I mean, they are one of the most irrelevant franchises in the NBA. It's kind of easy to forget them. They have literally almost no basketball history. Let's just be honest. But yeah, it's like we gotta stop it, y'all. Like, this is why, honestly, they might lessen the fan votes to 33%. I can see it happening because there's already an uproar of Andrew Wiggins being an all-star, which I believe he deserves to be one. Number one, because he's been playing good, and number two, it's just a perfect story because I swear people were calling this man a bust. Listen, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna finish it off with this conversation. Did y'all talk about Kobe?
No.
Okay, we'll finish it with Kobe. We'll finish it with the Kobe conversation.
On a positive note, yeah.
On a very
stable note.
Yeah. So the thing that I don't understand, right? Why were y'all calling Wiggins a bust? We know Minnesota does not. They're just a bad franchise when it comes to development players. We've seen them literally fuck up KG's whole prime. Kevin Garnett's whole prime was wasted in Minnesota. Like, bro, they're not a good team. They wasted Kevin Love's prime. They've made Cat seem like he's a worse player than he actually is. Now people are actually seeing how good Cat is.
Hopefully he finds out Minnesota, because I don't see an upside for him in Minnesota. The future's not looking good for Minnesota. It's just not.
Actually,
not
surprising. They actually have a bright future because Ant-Man is actually doing his thing.
I named Anthony Edwards as a reserve earlier, but he had more than just Anthony Edwards and like Cat though. He has to add more than that. They're still struggling as a whole.
I mean, they have a nice squad.
Yeah. They just have a nice squad.
It's just like, can they win consistent? Yeah, it's like, can they finally find
Can they stay healthy? That's number one. Can they stay healthy?
That is true, though.
That man D'Lo cannot stay healthy to save his life. That man always end up getting injured, man. At some point, some way.
Yeah, I see. Look, that's why I forget about D'Angelo Russell because like he's never on the court, and that's the thing. You can have D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Cat, like that big three right there, elite trio. But it's all about availability, man. Like, and it sucks though. Like, it's all part of the game with the injuries. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like it's
unfortunately.
always something with Minnesota.
And they gave, now, and the hard thing about it, they can't really make moves because they already have Cat and D'Lo on big max contracts, and Ant Man, he's rising and ascending, and they have a solid squad. They got a solid squad out in
Yeah, definitely
Minnesota,
keeping
but
Edwards
I
for
feel
sure.
like
Yeah,
they're gonna eventually have no choice but to trade Cat simply just for the fact that they need to do an actual rebuild and get better. Because number one, nobody's coming in Minnesota in free agency. That's just not gonna happen. They're not getting anybody. That's number one. It's just that simple. Nobody's gonna try to spend their life in Minnesota willingly. Number one. Number two, trade. The only way they get a big trade where it's a difference is if they trade Carly Towns because D'Lo is basically he's not an asset. He's not like I don't even know what they would even really get for D'Lo because he's been injured. He's not been healthy, and when he plays, it's like D'Lo still has a problem with me that pisses me off. He's just fucking frail, man. He's too frail because that man does not go to the hole at all. Like D'Lo doesn't even be going to do layups. He literally is a jump shooter, which is nothing wrong with it, but it's like you could tell with him. And you're a point guard and you're not going to the cuff, you're not getting layups the chances at the line, you're not gonna get to the next level. So D'Lo is kind of like I feel like D'Lo has kind of capped. He's kind of reached his ceiling, and nobody's gonna trade for a point guard like that. So it's just like I think they have no. If Minnesota really wants to do a full rebuild where they actually get a chance to be a true contender sometime in the future, they're gonna have to trade Cat. That's the only way it's gonna happen. That's the only way they're gonna get the assets to do it. Because now I don't think they're gonna be a team that's gonna be at the bottom anymore. They're gonna be like the Kings. They're literally gonna end up just like the Kings, bro, where they're right in the middle, not good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to get a top five pick in the lottery. So I don't know, bro. We got to see. But let's end on a happy note, a better note. Crazy, y'all. It's been 2 years since Kobe passed away, bro. That's crazy.
well, not
Time.
really a happy note, but okay.
No, 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 no. This is more of a celebration because the reason why I'm saying it's a happy thing, thinking about, the whole Kobe situation, is just like I'm glad that it was something that really helped to unite people. And unfortunately, we live in a society where people don't get their flowers until they're gone, unfortunately. But I just loved how Kobe's impact was truly shown when he passed away. Like, it felt like the world stopped. It felt like the world froze for a day. Everybody was like, man, he's really gone. And I just love how he's got shown all the love. His impact was shown greatly. And the love for Kobe will never fade away. He's an immortal legend. He is an immortal legend. He was already a legend. He was already top of the game, but now he's in a place where, for the rest of time, he's going to remember. And I just want to remember Kobe for his greatness. I don't want to remember the whole plane incident thing. I like to be more positive. I like to remember Kobe for being a killer on the court, for being a guy that took no nonsense, that never gave up, that fought through injuries upon injuries to keep his team in the game. And yeah, that's really it. Mama
Yeah,
mentality all the way.
yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, especially around the time that it happened. I mean, it kind of like we really didn't fully process it until like the whole COVID thing happened, and I think, especially me as a Lakers fan, like it kind of like not even just as a Lakers fan, just as a basketball fan, it kind of united the whole basketball community.
Mhm.
Because, like you said, everyone came together, especially in a time where it's just so much division. We were still dealing with Donald Trump and all of his antics and stuff like that. So we was dealing with all of that.
Right.
Um, just it was just good to be able to, although it was a very tragic and unfortunate situation that we was able, it shows that you can show love to people, man. It's possible. You just have to, it's just one of those things, you just have to do it. Like, we were showing each other love. Every day was a, hey, how are you feeling? Because everybody was going through it, and everyone just wanted to make sure that everyone was okay. And that's something I can take away from it. What I like now is, how Kobe's wife, Vanessa, is kind of handling, a lot of his, like, a lot of things that have been made in his honor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's handling the like the Mambasita foundation she created. We're able to see his other daughters, in a good light. We've never really seen them. We just get to see people just, pouring out and showing love to him, and you gotta love that.
And it also made people just appreciate them. Like now, people be checking up on each other, making sure each other good. People check up on family because you never want to have that family member pass away. And you never got the chance to tell them how much you care about them and how much you love them and appreciate them. Because I feel like after Kobe passed, a lot of people was like, "Dang, I can't. I gotta make sure my family good. I gotta show them how much I care about them because I don't want their time to come and they don't know how I really feel."
Right.
You know? Like I feel like
And
him passing really let people know they had to show like, "Dang, life is really short. You have to appreciate every single moment you got."
and another thing about it is, like, the day before, LeBron passed him on the scoring list, and it kind of gave us an opportunity to really celebrate him.
Mhm.
And it is very fitting that one of the biggest arguments in sports was Kobe versus LeBron. And Kobe's last tweet was was him giving props to LeBron for beating his record.
Mhm.
Like that says a lot, not just about who Kobe Bryant is, but it says a lot about how he felt about LeBron James. And you also kind of see his impact in players now through Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum and Devin Booker. You watch Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson. You watch all of them. Like, they've been impacted by Kobe. Brianna Stewart is one that I'm missing out. So yeah. Also, never mind. I forgot what I was about to say. I'm gonna just hold on to it.
Uh, Evan, Mark, I got anything you want to say?
No.
I mean, well, sometimes it really still don't feel real that Kobe's gone, because I remember last night when the clip of Michael Jordan walking out that suite at the Hornets game, somebody, I forgot who it was, quoted that and saying it still doesn't sit right knowing that we'll never see Kobe get old and be funny like this without even trying. And I'm just like, damn, like we're really never going to get to see this. And I'm looking at that clip again thinking this is exactly what Kobe would have did in that same situation. Like, no, and knowing that not only that, but Kobe's next move would have probably been to go into that locker room and cuss every player on that team out.
Right.
And it's like one of the moments where I'm thinking about it, laughing, and also like laughing at the idea, and I'm also sad that I'm never going to see it. And and that's why the 2020 NBA the bubble playoffs were that much more special to me, even as a non-Lakers fan, because once the playoffs started, I kept thinking, actually, ever since the next day after the news broke, and I had some a couple weeks after that, and I had some time to process. The first thought in my mind is the Lakers have to win the finals this year. Like, there's no other way the season can end. The Lakers have to win it. Like, and then you have the pandemic happening, and then it kind of hits harder knowing that the Lakers might not have a chance to get that ring for Kobe. But then the bubble starts up, and then the playoffs come, and when the Lakers won that championship, the first thing I thought about was Kobe Bryant. And I'm telling you, I was in my room watching it. I almost bust into tears, man. Watching LeBron and AD lift that trophy and feeling like Kobe still had a part in it. Like he was there on that floor. Like he was right in the middle of it. So yeah, that's his impact.
I do want to say one thing. Sanfa was there with me when they played this game. If the Lakers have won the championship wearing those Kobe jerseys, I would have broke down crying. I'm telling you this right now.
Talking game 5, right?
Game 6. No, yeah. Game 5.
It was game 5 because game 5 was the game where LeBron literally went off. Like he was making every single thing.
And Danny Green missed that shot.
Yeah, Danny Green missed a shot. That's game 5. That was when they wore the Mamba jerseys.
But if the Lakers had won that game, I think I don't even think, and it wouldn't have even just been me. I think just everyone would have just broke down crying because those were the jerseys. Like, granted, those weren't our city jerseys of that year, but those were the jerseys that Kobe designed a couple years ago. But man, I made a post and I said it doesn't seem real. Still doesn't seem real. Because you think about people, I always thought of Kobe like as he was invincible. Like, I never really thought of Kobe as getting hurt for a long period of time. Never thought of him as somebody that was going to like just like he could just get through anything. But never in my wildest dreams did I ever think about Kobe Bryant and then putting dead right next to it. Never. And it's sad. Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to his daughter Gigi. Rest in peace to the other people that was on that helicopter, bro. And shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's like right. But it's like I'm looking more into the positive because it's just like so many good things that's come from it. Like, as much of a tragedy it was, now 2 years later, people just appreciate things more. Like, I just feel like, as crazy as it was, the world is just in a better place. Overall, of course, you still have your bad seeds, the people that's doing the bad acts. Of course, good and evil will always coexist. But I just feel like people understand that life is short. Show love to your loved ones, and just appreciate every moment on the journey. Like, just appreciate the journey, man, because you never know when your clock strikes 0. It's midnight for you and your time is up. You never know. It's really crazy, And like I said, I was kind of the same boat. I was dead shocked when it happened. I was upset, was crying. Funny thing, it was the same day as the Royal Rumble. I remember that day like it's yesterday, bro. That shit was crazy. And now, like I said, I just carry the moment mentality with me, and I just try to achieve and be the best of what I can be. That's why I'm always looking for more ways to just be better and grow. Always. Because I know I'm in this game, not even the podcast game, just the game of life. I want to be on top. And competition drives me. I look at other people's podcasts that's better, more people watching, and I take tips from them and what they're doing, and I try to apply it as we're growing, as we're moving up the ranks, ch- breaking numbers, charting. That's what I try to do because I know that this could be something for all four of us. That could be something that could be we could really, really be honestly awesome at, and put on not only for the DMV but put on for the culture
Right.
because that 2020 NBA championship was bigger than basketball. It was so much bigger than basketball. It was crazy. And now, and what makes it so interesting before we cut off that season, the beginning half, bro, amazing, bro. Before the season got cut off, bro, that was gonna be if that season would have never got interrupted. If it would have been smooth all the way through, that would have been one of the best NBA seasons we ever saw, bro. I could feel it. I was looking forward so much to LA versus LA in the Western Conference Finals, bro. I wanted it. We all wanted it. That would have been great. But circumstances happen. But we still got a very good basketball product. We still are getting a very good one. Things are moving in a progressive direction. NBA is in the good hands. Life is just better, when you just look at things from a more positive standpoint. Kobe, you just remember Kobe as the great person he was and the amazing player he was, and just how big his influence was. And you just try to not emulate it, but take tad bits from it and apply it to your life and just keep going. When you feel like you don't have anything left, when you feel you're at your rock bottom, sometimes that little bit of light, a little bit of positivity is really will be your breakthrough. So that's all I really have to say. Shout out to all the lovers. Shout out to all the people that support us. Shout out to the family, the gang. Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all the motivating piece behind us, man. Y'all the reason we do this. That we keep pushing forward and forward, even through all the craziness that life will throw at us. And believe me, the past week has been nothing but crazy for me. But your boy is gonna keep soldiering on, pushing forward because I got goals, I got things I need to accomplish.
Can I give one shout out real quick?
Sure.
So I want to give a shout out, like they can hear it, but to what's her name? What's her name? I want to get her name right. Shout out to Kansas State's Ayoka Lee, who plays for the women's basketball team. She just broke the Division I women's scoring record.
Ooh.
Dropped 61 points.
Wow.
And you want to know what makes it even better?
Hmm.
I think she dropped 61 on 23 shots, and none of them were threes. All of them was in the paint.
Ooh.
She's I think she's 6'6", 6'5", big girl. Inside, she's nice,
Hey,
and it wasn't like this was a anomaly.
Mhm.
She been doing this shit, man. She had multiple games of 30, 40. So this was coming.
Mm.
And she did it in 40 minutes too. So shout out to you, Ayoka Lee,
That's awesome.
Kansas State.
That's amazing.
And
Incredible.
because we can't talk about Kobe and not bring up the queens out here doing work on the court.
Yes, sir. Kobe was a big proponent for women's basketball. Most definitely. But we about to be out. It's been a crazy week. Look out for us next week as we start the new upload schedule. And we're gonna keep holding it down to 3 $1 pocket. That's what we do. You guys have
Yeah.
we have a beautiful weekend and we are done.